We're back here once again giving you this truth, pursuant to the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shabbat Shem Kakadash. Hope you can hear me good. You see in front of you, you see two of the apostles. I'm off to the side. I got the desktop. But anyway, we're just gonna go right into it. Oh, we didn't go out today because early this morning it was bitterly cold. That's what they were saying. So I said, well, we'll take a break. But then I went outside. I said, it was worse last week. It was far cold last week because it was windy. But then I was going to call and say, we're going to go out anyway. But then I said, you know what, this is a change of pace.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And most high willing will be out there next week, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to go right into it. I wanted to go into, as we've been going into prophecies, we'll cover the word prophecy. What does it mean? We might go into the Bible dictionary, the Bible encyclopedia, whatever.
Real studious lesson.
Well, we'll see,
Yeah.
But I wanted to start off with 2nd Ezra, the 4th chapter. We're going to start with the first verse. And I was listening to it. I'm familiar with that chapter, but I was listening to it coming back. And I said, yeah, that's the perfect scripture to start with. Because it's dealing with the prophets. The most important men are the prophets of the Lord. Not the king, not the general, not the prince, not the priest, but the prophet. The Most High is dealing directly with Israelites who are the prophets. And just because you find out that you're an Israelite doesn't mean that you're a prophet. You got a lot of guys, they find out that women, they find out they're Israelites, but then they say, oh, I'm a prophet. I'm going to go out there. Maybe you're a helper, Maybe you just know that you're an Israelite. Because a lot of you guys are going off, But a lot of y'all got it right too.
I got a precept for you.
Go ahead.
The book of Hebrews 1:1. The Most High, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. You said about how important the prophets are.
Yeah, because anything that happens as far as prophecy is concerned, the Most High uses the prophet to tell things that are going to happen in the future. Yeah. Oh, real quick, give me Isaiah 42 and 9, and I believe Isaiah 46 and 9 and 10.
Can I read this real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the word prophet. It says, an authoritative person who divines the future.
Yeah, you did that. I couldn't have said it better myself. Read that again, please.
It says, an authoritative person who divines the future.
Yeah, so what does a prophet do? They tell you of things to come.
Right.
I got a precept for you.
Go ahead.
The book of Numbers 12:6. And he said, well, let me start at 5. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision and will speak unto him in a dream.
Were you reading that?
The book of Numbers 12:5 and 6.
Yeah, that's Moses. Matter of fact, you can read more of that. Go into it. Matter of fact, start from the top.
Okay.
So it could go so you can get more into the context. Because basically what happened was Miriam, the oldest sister of both Moses and Aaron, was talking shit, pop styling to Moses.
Yep.
And Moses was a humble man.
Yep.
People when they picture a prophet, they picture him as he won the Mr. Olympia contest. He got that growl, laser beams come out of his eye.
Yeah.
Them prophets, they were ordinary men.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, which whole Jeremiah 1 and 4, Jeremiah was a boy. When they said he was young, he wasn't like a teen, he was a boy. He had to be maybe 11, 10 years old.
Yeah.
The youngest king in Israel was 5 years old. So, you look at brothers, man. Hey, you got the, holding the laws with a single bicep and all that.
That's that Hollywood stuff, man.
Yeah, we,
like
hey,
Prometheus.
exactly, yeah.
Well, we kinda told you, brother, stop with that.
Oh, no, they did,
And
you know,
Lee
they
Haney
did.
look,
Yeah, but that's how you wanna perceive the men of the Lord,
yeah.
you know?
With all that,
Anyway, go ahead,
all that heavenly glory.
that's it.
Numbers 12:1, it says.
We ain't got our glorious bodies yet.
That's true.
Far from it.
Numbers 12:1, it says, and Miriam and Aaron spake again against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman.
Yeah, because why did they speak against him? Because he was dealing with a woman of another nation. But why was he dealing with a woman of another nation? Really, the Most High set it up, but really, so he can get in close with Miriam's father, which was Jethro.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jethro was a tribesman. He knew how to set order.
Yeah.
Moses didn't know how to set order. As you read the scriptures, it said that Jethro spoke to him, and he said, "What do you do? With the people?" He said, "I just sit there all day, and they come one by one with their problems, and I show them the Lord."
Yep.
And then Jethro told him, he said, "No, that's not good." He said, "You will be worn out, and your people be worn out."
Yep.
He said, set among you men of honest report to be officers of 10s, officers of 50s, officers of 100, officers of 1,000s, whatever. And then the small matters, they deal with them, and the big matters, you deal with. And what is a big matter?
Adultery.
Well, no, what is a big matter? Big matter is a small matter that got out of line. Every big issue starts with a small issue.
Right.
That's how wars, the World War I, World War II, it was always one incident. What was World War I? One of these dignitaries got killed.
Was it us?
Austrian prince.
Austrian prince got killed,
Yeah.
and it turned into a war. And how many people died? Hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, you brought that point out in your Daniel 11 video.
Mm.
You spoke about Bernice.
Oh yeah,
The
Bernice
battle
and
was over.
Yep, Bernice and
Yeah.
Laodicea. There was people that was killed by that,
Yeah.
So a big problem is something that is a small problem that gets out of hand, but you don't get it. So you other leaders in GMS, we don't got to be called in to find out what's going on. That's where order comes in.
Right.
If it's a big problem, this guy did this and he's been going off, he hasn't been coming.
Yeah.
So it comes up to us, and then we say, well, look, if he can't get his act together, he gotta leave, or he gotta get suspended.
You got you got regional heads, where brothers could deal with, and
Another good example is, go to, Acts 6.
oh God. This is the book of Acts.
So you got Nate, or Bishop, let me say it correctly,
Oh, yeah.
so nobody get mad.
Yeah.
The high exalted grand poobah, Nathaniel,
Then
the great.
Yep.
Anyway, he goes all over the place. He doesn't have to go all over the place. You got men that are in different regions, that can deal with,
God. This is Numbers chapter 6 verse 1. I'm sorry, Acts chapter 6 verse 1. And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews.
Yeah, for you Israelites that don't understand the difference between the word Greek and Grecian, or Gentiles, or Cornelius, you see this, and you'll say, "Yeah, those are talking about other nations." No, they ain't talking about other nations. They're talking about Israelites that was outside of Israel, that didn't speak the Hebrew language. When you read about the Pentecost, all those different Israelites coming from all over those different regions were all Israelites, man. They didn't know the proper Hebrew. They knew maybe a few words. They knew how to probably read the Torah. But they were speaking the languages that they were born in. And that's a big controversy with these Christians, like vocab. But wait a minute, it's a Gentile. And you know what? Going to these theological seminaries, the Most High, there's no scripture where it said the Most High gave this word to a bunch of white people that built up a goddamn school. So you don't have the truth. Go ahead.
It says, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration.
And what is the administration? Because they made an agreement. There were some that were rich, there were some that were in the middle, and some that were poor. And they had lands, and you had a lot of disciples that were rich. And they said, we're gonna bring it all together. If you need this, you get this. You need that, you get that. So they were like putting the widows to the side because they didn't really look at them as real Israelites. Well, first of all, your sons didn't get circumcised until they were 19 and all this other nonsense, man. So the apostles had to do something about it. Go ahead.
It says, then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them, and said, it is no reason that we should leave the word of the Most High and serve tables.
So what did that mean? Pretty much what Moses was doing. He was serving tables. He was dealing with each and every Israelite situation.
Right.
So Josh, what's his name?
Peter.
No. I'm talking about his father-in-law.
Jeff.
Jeff had to straighten him out and said, set up men to be over tens and thousands and hundreds and fifties. Go ahead.
It says, wherefore, brethren, look ye out among yourselves men of honest report, full of the Holy Spirit and wisdom, whom we may appoint over this business.
And what does it mean full of wisdom? Meaning this man is a man of a particular age that has life experience, plus he has the Holy Spirit in him, plus he's of honest report.
Yep.
And Stephen was one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But we will give ourselves continually to prayer and to the ministry of the word.
And what's the prayer and ministry of the word? What we're doing right now. What do we do? We teach.
Yeah.
We teach.
Minister the word.
That's it. Go ahead.
It says, and the same pleased the whole multitude, and they chose Stephen, a man full of faith, and the Holy Spirit, and Philip, and Prochorus, and Nicanor, and Timon, and Parmenas, and Nicholas, a proselyte of Antioch.
Oh, what's a proselyte? A proselyte is one that's a part of one faith that comes into another faith, newly in the faith. And you notice these individuals had Greek sounding names.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Those were Israelites. But they were living in different, they were born in different regions of the world.
Yep.
No doubt they spoke Greek.
Exactly. All right, that's it. That's all we need.
Back to Numbers.
Yeah.
Numbers 12 and 2. It says, and they said, have the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Have he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it. Now,
And so that's what a lot of these other camps do. Like we've been getting on Bow, be a believer of the way. And they're like, look, the Most High deals with us too. When we say it, no. The Most High established us. Because we've been in this thing before you've been in this thing.
that's right.
And you know it's by our very work's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And none of you would ever know anything if it wasn't for the One West camps through the Spirit putting out this word. But now all of a sudden you're the experts and telling everybody how it's broken down when you didn't have a clue of what the Bible meant prior to watching YouTube videos.
Well, this guy, the head guy, so to speak, he said that he came up under guys that were taught by Ariana that actually came to New York, but then he cursed me out saying, see, Tahar had a dream that the year 2000 and never had no dream, that was a doctrine.
Right.
All right, and furthermore, the guys that taught you, that you said got it from Ariana, all right, which I knew him personally, man.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
They had to be teaching the same thing, so why would they come to New York? I'm pretty sure they heard it.
Yeah.
So, stop playing, man. You're just not a man of the Lord.
That's it.
You're just an Israelite, man.
That's it.
Humble yourself.
Go ahead.
Back in Numbers 12, 3rd verse.
And you can, by the way, well, that's a topic right there. You can learn this truth by way of the internet.
Oh yeah.
That's a topic in itself. But right, God just said, well, you don't have the truth because well, wait a minute, truth is truth.
Right.
Yeah,
If I teach you that one and one is two on the internet, oh, that really don't mean that because you heard on the internet.
yeah, back in the day, you had individuals that learned the truth off the cable shows. What about that?
Yeah.
That wasn't the school.
When Apostle Paul set up those different churches, he would send letters, and there would be people that read the letters that never met the Apostle Paul and believe. And the scriptures speak about them hearing about the fame of the Lord and different things, you know.
Yeah, so instead of us sending letters back and forth, we put on the videos, we do video epistles.
Yeah,
So can you grow and become a teacher, you know, a prophet from watching the video? Of course you can.
Hey, well, the prophets, the Lord showed them videos, those visions that they saw.
Those are divine videos.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, all those different camps across America, they got together. A lot of them.
No, all those guys are false guys. They're just gonna disappear in a puff of smoke.
Some of them guys gave up their jobs, gave up their lives for what they heard over the internet.
And while you, Harai, was talking, what have you been doing?
Exactly,
What corners have you been on?
exactly.
None.
Who have you edified?
None.
What
Nobody.
fruit have you
Nobody.
gathered?
Nobody.
You like that fig tree that.
Well, Comfy's like that fig tree.
Yeah.
Comfy. That's why the Most High took him out and made it wither away. Unless he's in Dubai with Michael Jackson and
Hanging out.
Epstein
Yep.
Prince.
and Prince. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a story of the fig tree where Yahushua came to it, and scriptures say that he was hungry, and there was no figs on that tree, and he got mad. He cursed that tree, and it died right as soon as he said the words. The tree just
With it.
because
It'll
the
never grow again.
never grow.
And see, when Comfy was doing his thing, he was doing him.
Yeah,
He was doing him, man.
Serving his own belly.
He was serving his own belly.
yeah, and the scriptures say that the disciples they marveled at how the tree just died like that. Because you remember they were coming up with Yahushua, they didn't know the full power he had. So when they saw that, they said, "Oh shit!" To put it in modern day terms.
Yeah. Well, that goes with the scripture about being lukewarm. Either cold or hot.
Yep. You had something.
Yeah, I got some real quick. This is Romans chapter 10, verse 19. It says, but I say, did not Israel know? I'm sorry, that's not it, verse 18. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and and their words unto the ends of the world. And how does that happen? By the internet. You know?
Yeah, it can't happen any other way. There's no way in hell we can go to every city, you know, every town and teach. Matter of fact, that's in Matthew 10.
Yeah.
Let me start at the 20th verse.
I'll get it.
Okay.
Yeah, Matthew.
Yeah, then you got, you have scriptures in the Bible that speak about, but scriptures say that knowledge shall increase.
Yeah, I got this.
You know, what made this thing worldwide?
Well,
The web. The web is the thing that made this thing worldwide. It said make full proof of thy ministry. And you at the ICGJC is not making full proof of your ministry. Well, they ain't putting up videos. The only people that can learn that go to your schools or your churches.
yeah. You don't even hear about them anywhere.
Yeah, Matthew 10 and 20. It says let me start at 19. For when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what you shall speak, for it shall be given you in the same hour what you shall speak. For it is not you that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And
What verse you in?
yeah, 19. Now I'm in 21. Is that the one you want?
Yeah, Matthew
Yeah.
10, verse 20.
Yeah. Matthew 10 and 20. For it is not you that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child. And the children shall rise up against their parents, and cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. But when they persecute you in this city,
What does it mean to he that endures to the end?
real to the end when the ministry's over. Basically, when Yahushua is coming to deliver.
Yeah, in
his
other
life.
words, you gotta keep teaching. In other words,
Yeah.
this doesn't mean you're not enduring to the end if you know you're an Israelite. A lot of guys full off, they still know that they're Israelites. And
Yeah.
if they ain't doing the work, they ain't enduring to the end.
No.
You don't endure because you knew because you know you're an Israelite, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Reading on, it says, but when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you, you shall.
Oh, like when this guy Vocab rolled up on us. What do? No more live streams, and we went someplace else, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So we're going by what the scriptures. We said, look, we're gonna be out there next week. We're gonna have Abiel with us. We have in case anybody does something. We're
They
gonna
intimidate.
Abiel, the great intimidator, because that was wicked
Oh,
what you
man.
did, my man.
Yep.
And the Most High clearly is not dealing with you.
Yeah. Carnal.
The scriptures say, I'm gonna throw some scriptures out.
Yeah.
Be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove.
Yeah.
One thing Yahushua and the 12, or the disciples and the 5,000, okay, now we can roll up on the wicked
Right.
scribe. Let's see what they're gonna say now. Roll up on them.
Right.
And then the disciples were put to death. Them 5,000 didn't say, well, let's go get,
Yeah. Yeah.
scripture say, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, man.
That's right.
It says, be like sheep in the midst of wolves.
Yeah. Also
So it's
says,
obvious you guys don't have that spirit
no.
of the scriptures, man. You doing your own thing.
Yeah, the Lord, Yahushua said he sent us as sheep among wolves. You guys are acting more like wolves than sheep.
Yeah.
Sheep are not intimidating.
Yeah, it was funny. I was watching the other night, Denzel, a training day. I was kind of getting into it like the last 15 minutes, but they had the closing credits, and the first song they played was y'all police better be ready. And then when the wolves come out,
Yeah.
when the wolves come out, you know.
There was the sound.
And that was a bad. Yeah.
That's MOP, right?
Yeah, MOP,
yeah, MOP.
And so I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about Benjamin. Now MOP, they could be Benjaminites.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think they are.
And that's when, and that scripture is going to be fulfilled when this man goes down.
Yep.
Not now.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
now. You know.
Esau's night would be our morning.
Our morning. Exactly. Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, man. Oh, give me, I believe it's Matthew 5 and 11, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's in Matthew 5.
Matthew 5:11. It says, blessed are ye when men shall revile you, that one,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you.
What about this Jordan Morgan thing?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. The scripture said, blessed are you when they speak bad of you.
Yeah.
The scripture didn't say nothing, but make sure you roll up on them guys.
Right.
And I remember them 2 swords I told you to buy.
Yeah.
Use them.
Yeah.
Right.
The Lord never said every once in a while you got to kick a centurion's ass. You know, the Lord never said every once in a while you got to beat a wicked scribe and Pharisee down. You know.
Yeah.
So that shows that the Lord is clearly not dealing with them, man.
Yeah, you guys act more like thugs.
Well, that's what they used to call us.
Yeah.
They said we never roll up on nobody,
No, hell
you know.
no. Hell no.
And give me Jeremiah 9 verse 23.
Yeah, we're spiritual men, that's why. We're not carnal. Scripture say a carnal mind is enmity with the Heavenly
Yeah,
Father.
Romans the 8th chapter. Yep.
You said Jeremiah 9?
23.
Yeah, Jeremiah 9.
Oh, 9, no, right. Right.
And see, he even got brothers in GMS with their avatars. You got the guy with them looking like Lee Haney and what's this guy?
Ronnie Coleman.
Ronnie Coleman. Look at Ronnie Coleman now. Man, I'll kick Ronnie Coleman's ass. This dude got to walk around with crutches,
Damn.
What about
wearing diapers, man.
what about the Apostle Paul? The
You
scriptures
ever see
tell us-
what Ronnie Coleman, man? He's all crushed up, man. He's all, you gotta, you know, he couldn't run down a damn roach.
Damn.
Well, Apostle Tal, he always told that story about that dude Gad when he first came to One West.
Yeah, he was all built.
This dude
he was
was
all
chiseled,
He used to
man.
look at, he used to
Yeah.
you know, ice grow you and shit.
Yep.
And then the Most High zapped his ass, and I believe the Most High put it. But when the Most High took his muscles, he became humble, man. He was like the humblest guy. You see, that muscles don't mean a damn thing, man. With the Most High.
That's it.
That's another topic. Yeah, but God, you know, the muscles don't mean a damn thing.
Hey, well, the Most High said he don't take pleasure in the legs of a man.
That's it.
He used to bring that scripture out all the time.
Yeah. It just means a lot to Diana Ross. I
Oh,
want muscle.
yeah. Oh, she wants wigs.
Damn, merged with.
He goes,
I'm sorry, it's okay, pull that up a little bit, let it a little later.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, Jeremiah 9 and
Be
23.
careful. That thing,
This one here.
yeah, be careful, because it snaps like a gator.
Okay.
You gotta be gentle with it.
Bring it up a little bit more. There we go. Right there.
Jeremiah 9 and 23, it says, Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom.
Now you got guys that come into this thing and they have college degrees. You don't last them guys don't last too long. You know, well, I went to theological. Please don't say you was from a theological seminary, man, because you ain't gonna get this. Most I'm not dealing with you, man. Vocab is still losing sleep over the ass whipping and spiritual ass whipping that we gave. And anytime you come back to New York, let us know. We'll tell you where we at, so we can beat up on you some more.
Yeah.
And do the spirit.
Hey, Yahweh told Nicodemus that you were a master in Israel, you don't know this simple thing the Lord told him, you have to be born again. So,
Jeremiah 9 and 23, Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might, let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him, there it is right there, let the mighty man glory in his might, let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorifieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord.
And you know what you can get? Since you hit the part of the riches,
Yeah.
let not them grow in the riches. Revelation 3 and 15 on down. Because a lot of guys then came into this thing, former loan busters, and they were out there on the highways and the byways, and they came into money, and then you don't see them out there no more, like Johanna. Johanna ain't out there no more, he ain't on fire. He's been lately coming up back in there because we've been cursing his ass out. He said, I better get out, better start, showing us out a little bit more. Hey, brother, this money don't mean that, it shouldn't mean a damn thing to you, man.
So he's the guy that fears, how that scripture go, he fears man, he doesn't fear the Most High. Roughly paraphrasing.
Yeah, that's in the Apocrypha. Like if you go to the Lord is eyes 1,000 times brighter than the sun, right before that, that's what that precept is. You know?
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Revelation 3 and 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. But I would thou wert cold or hot. Now, when you go into the 14th verse, let me read the 14th verse. And unto the angel of the church of the Laodiceans, write these things, saith the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of the Heavenly Father, which would be our Shai. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
And that's why guys get kicked out or fall off. Why? Because they were lukewarm. That's what the Most High said.
Yep, now here's the point why Apostle Paul brought the scripture out, the 17th verse, because thou sayest, now who's the thou? The church at Laodicea, right? Because thou sayest, I am rich and increase with goods, and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked.
Yeah, destitute of the truth.
Yep. There's also a scripture where it speaks about It's in Timothy.
Yeah, 1 Timothy 6.
Yeah.
1 Timothy is,
Supposing that gain,
yeah, go to that.
yeah,
The 1 Timothy or 2 Timothy 6.
I'm not sure. Might be 1 Timothy 6.
You go to 1 Timothy
Did
6.
you get it?
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Yep, 1 Timothy 6. Wow,
A lot of meat.
yeah,
You can start, you know what you can do? Start at about the 4th verse.
okay.
See what that says. The whole chapter is good, but
Can I start at 3?
you go ahead.
All right, verse 3, it says, if any man teach otherwise, and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of our Lord Yahweh Shai, and to the doctrine which is according to
And the
godliness.
doctrine is what? The whole book.
Yep.
So if you're saying the mark of the beast is something other than what it really is, then you are not dealing with the whole book.
Beat
The
the
rate,
whole roll.
doctrine, this, these other things.
You didn't
A
even.
lot of you guys got emotional. You're still emotional.
Yeah.
You still, hey, here, brother Polite got it. He got it. He studied it. He got it. And you guys still ain't got it, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotional cats.
Yeah, a lot of emotional Israelites. Go ahead.
It says, he is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and
What does
strife.
it mean doting about questions? He's questioning everything.
Yeah.
And like Sarnetta, I was watching Sarnetta with Lord Abba, and there they go, they were talking about questions. Who does the Lord does this, and what does it mean when he does this? And does he really like Sarnetta knows that we have the truth, and that's why he always brings up videos with Israel on it, but he questions it. He's trying to, like you said in the video you did earlier, I was checking out. They question everything. They're looking for a loophole. They know it's the truth, but they're looking for a loophole out of it,
Yeah, I was just looking up the word doting.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, it says extremely and uncritically fond of someone, adore it.
Yeah, in other words, they love to ask a lot of questions. They love to question a lot of things.
I looked it up.
Oh,
Like you in love with a chick, right? And you don't think she's in love with you, and you say, "Well, why was you late?" She got to explain herself,
right. This might be, it says here, archaic, be silly or feeble-minded.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're being feeble-minded. They're being feeble-minded. They're asking all these questions, and you know the answers.
Right. It says especially as a result of old age.
Somebody's getting up there in age.
I got the one in Timothy, the word
Look,
doting.
we know we have the truth. Well, let's have a debate. Why they gotta have a debate? I know I got the truth.
Right.
If I'm taking a trip somewhere with a map, and you're telling me I'm going the wrong way, I'm not gonna listen to you.
Right.
Go ahead.
This is G3552, no sale. It says to be sick, that is by implication of a diseased appetite, to hanker after, figuratively to harp upon, dope.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They keep bringing up, well, what about,
Right.
do you really believe that the Lord turned water into wine? You know?
Yeah, I think you're gonna get a different answer because they keep asking.
And somehow we're gonna give you some scientific breakdown of how water can be turned into wine.
Right.
Now, I bet you Esau can do that shit. He can turn water into wine.
Yeah.
He can take plants and turn it into meat.
Yeah, well,
Possible meat.
That's a devil for you, man. As a matter of fact, go ahead, speak. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna put in the word, the question.
Now,
As can the white man turn?
as you were saying that,
But that's what we're drinking, water.
yeah, as you say that, I was thinking about what the prophecy says about the so-called white man. It's wiser than Daniel. It says there's no secret they can hide from you. So you said that too, Apostle Tar, in one of your videos, the latest one. He said, don't think that the white man's a dummy. He's not a dummy. And I was listening to it, I was like, yeah, he's not. You know, the so-called white man, he's up on shit.
He's a smarty.
He's up on. Look, you go in Genesis, it speaks about the serpent was more subtle than any beast in the field. Who the hell do you think it's talking about?
Right.
It's talking about the so-called white man.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you got it.
No, the song says they accomplish a diligent search.
Yeah, the man is not stupid.
Their heart is deep.
Yep.
They search things out. Wait, knowledge shall be increased.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So they've searched things out because they know that if they can search out the earth and the stars and the waters and all that,
They're trying to.
then the Lord will do away with the nation of Israel.
Right. So but that's they can't do it. It's impossible to do that. You know.
Because if that's the case, they would have to extinguish the sun, extinguish the moon, the stars, the constellations of the heavens.
Yep.
And they know it's impossible. You know? And although we know Jake messed up, the scriptures say that the Lord will still have mercy upon Jacob. Because that is the seed that the Lord chose.
Yep. No.
And check this out. I put in, can you turn water into wine? And yep, you can turn water into wine.
Look at
And
that.
he breaks it down. He said water to wine. Treat one glass with about a teaspoon of phenol fluctuating solution. Pour some of the sodium carbonate treated water into the untreated glass. Pour some of the sodium carbonate treated water into the pre-treated phenol whatever glass, and the solution will immediately turn red.
Yeah. So what was I gonna say? That's why you got some people who read that and say, "See, what made Jesus?" They'll say Jesus. We know it's Yahushua. They'll say, "What?"
Oh shit, they showing pictures, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, you can turn,
They'll say like,
take water and turn it into wine. But hey,
Yeah.
Esau,
yeah.
you know?
They'll say like, "See, what made Jesus so special?" You know, because you can do that. See.
Right. This is Psalm 64:6. It says, "They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep."
But you know what? Yahushua didn't just turn water into wine. That was some good ass wine because the governor of the
But
feast.
Esau can make good wine too.
Not as good as Yahushua.
I don't know, you gotta no, I'm messing around.
No man, Yahushua's
Well,
wine.
the point is, can you make water from wine? Esau can do
Yeah.
it. Hence, thou art wiser than Daniel.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So Esau got it, man.
You got it.
So that's why you Negroes, you can't bring Esau down. You can't bring him down.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
is.
Because he's in his power seat. Not us, Lahab. Esau's in his power seat.
Yeah, because that was some, like they say in the street, that was some hella wine. Because the governor of the feast said, "Man, usually we bring out the good stuff. Then when men are well drunk, we bring out the bad stuff." But
And that proves that they Negroes.
Yeah, he said this wine. He probably was sipping it like, what kind of wine is that? Was Yahushua. That was Yahushua's wine.
Yeah.
The bottle with Yahushua's wine on it.
This is some good ass wine.
But you know what that means? That's symbolic of the truth.
That's
This
what
is
the
the
Lord
wine.
said, I will meet you in the kingdom. We will drink wine in the kingdom.
Yeah,
He gonna make that wine.
yeah.
He gonna do this, and the wine is just gonna
Appear.
appear. It's gonna float in the heavens, man.
And well, he prayed over the fish and the bread.
And the bread, yeah.
And
yeah,
fed
that's
the
it,
4,000 at one
that's
time
it.
and 5,000.
And I bet you Esau can do that too. And Esau can take a
Yeah.
piece of grass and turn it into a steak. Bad motherfucker.
Grass-fed steak.
Yeah.
But I had when that thing Beyond Meat came out and tried it, man, it tastes just like
Yeah,
fucking meat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it sure got good.
Same texture.
Yeah, Esau is not with that, man.
Yeah, but that's the Most High on the left hand side feeding that.
That's it.
Feeding
That's
that
it.
bastard.
But that'll give you cancer.
Oh yeah.
That his meat will give you cancer.
That's that Soylent Green.
Soil and green.
Read?
Yeah. Oh no, I still got a little more. This is back in 1 Timothy 6:4. He is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, evil surmisings, perverse disputing of men of corrupt minds.
Yeah, because their minds are corrupt. They kind of know the truth, but they're questioning every little detail of what the truth is. And that's why a person that thinks that way cannot see prophecy.
Right.
They cannot see prophecy. Even Israelites. The number one prophecy that's going to hit before the destruction is not going to come until the microchip comes, the mark of the beast comes. Okay? So if you're thinking that the Lord is going one day you walking down the street, you won't see missiles coming. No, that ain't gonna happen, man.
Mhm.
That's what operation, what's that, a blue beam, that's blue beam, man. That's blue beam.
Project Blue.
You see a picture, you see the shit coming, and then you see a Edomite.
Yeah.
And then you believe, oh my goodness, I was wrong. I didn't know, you know?
Well,
That ain't going, the destruction is not gonna come until the chip comes first, all right? And Esau is in the producing the chip through these other things. See, you guys don't know how the story goes, man.
yeah,
They had to bring this shit out first before they can lay that chip on you, man.
Yeah, that's right.
that's why Rahm Emanuel, he said, never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yep.
They're gonna
That's
play.
why this thing ain't never going away.
Yeah.
And this thing right here ain't never going away. You know why? They got new, there's deadlier strains coming out of England,
Play with it.
7 times worse.
Yeah, you could play.
And, well, if that was the case, wouldn't they just, everybody got locked down? Everybody go in your fucking house and stay there.
Yeah.
And then, but then we got another one that's worse than the one from Great Britain,
Right.
Yeah.
which is out of South Africa. It's 20 times dead, and it's already here in New York.
Right.
And you know what? People are looking. Well, you got the dummies riding down the road with the mask on. They're the only one in the car. And I'd be tempted to say, "Look, motherfucker, take that fucking, you know, you gonna give it to yourself."
There was
And
this,
my Jose's ex-wife, she got it right. And my demon, you know, she got it. And then she showed me a picture. She was had all that shit on it. And I said, "That's bullshit," you know.
yeah.
I don't know, she might die. I said, "That's bullshit." And then sure enough, they let her out. They said, "We're gonna let you go. You just gotta stay in the house 14 days. So wait a minute, I thought this was like the
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, son. Go ahead.
It says perverse disputing of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth.
Yeah, destitute of the truth. They're questioning the truth, but they'll never get it because the Most High has not opened up their eyes to the truth.
That's it.
You get it because the Most High opened up your eyes. Perfect example I always go to, Numbers 24. Balaam, and this guy wasn't an Israelite. It said, "In a man whose eyes were open." What did Balaam see? And I love that story, man. I love that story. Balaam said in the 23rd chapter that he wished he can wake up and be like them. Why? Because he saw more than, we're talking about somewhere around 3,500 years. He saw the mark of the beast. He saw the missiles. He saw Jake fucking up Esau. He saw the kingdom.
Yeah.
And this man was a heathen.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got a quick precept, Titus 1:15.
I'm gonna have to bring that down, 'cause there's like a lot of glare.
Okay, go ahead. Bring it on down. Bring it on down.
Titus 1:15, it says, unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them which are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. That's why they keep doting about questions, strifes of words. They profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate.
And what does the word reprobate mean? Look up the word reprobate in the blue letter. Void of judgment, void of understanding. The Most High haven't opened up your eyes.
That was Titus 1:16. That's why they question everything, because in reality, really, you're a reprobate. This truth is easy. I think Yahweh Shai said that. He said, "My yoke is easy to bear." You know, this truth is not complicated.
Who said that? Was it Peter that said that? The simplicity that
The
is in
simplicity that's in the
either
gospel.
Peter or Paul said that.
Yeah.
It's G96, adokimos. Unapproved, that is rejected. By implication, worthless, literally or morally. Castaway, rejected, reprobate. Let me see if I look up.
That's why guys fell off. Hey, Patak, I was speaking about Patak in the video I did earlier. Patak basically questioned us, "Oh, we're going off on that." And I even said in the video how he figured he messed up, so he's trying to get in. But he said, in his mind, I'm gonna get into the head of New York, let me try to get into the GMS Dallas. And remember, I cursed out Dallas. I said, motherfucker, you ain't the head, man. Then it shook up everybody. Because these guys were novices, they were young in this thing. Or we can, we saw in the spirit that man wasn't right.
Yeah.
We saw in the spirit, the man said, I ain't budging. I said, okay, you don't have to budge. You know? And the same thing with Nazariah. Nazariah just knew the most I was dealing with him. Where is he now? He was solid with his men for about a year, and then for a whole year he didn't do shit, and then he just popped up for about a month, did 2 videos, and you don't see him no more. What? Huh?
The flash in the pan.
So for that, literally, man. And immediately what came to mind is Matthew's 25th chapter. 10 virgins, 5 were wise and 5 were foolish.
Right. So that means they trimmed the lamp came on, but it went right out.
It kind of, wow, that's a bright,
Yeah.
you know?
And like the scripture, what is that? Matthew, where it says, and how great is that darkness?
How great, well, that's Matthew's 6 and 20,
I got
24 around there.
I got a quick
Let's
precept.
read that one too, that's a good one.
First
Oh, I
Timothy.
looked at the clock.
Yeah, 4. Yeah. First Timothy 3 and 6. It says, "Not a novice, least being lifted up with pride, ye fall into the condemnation of the devil."
And you know what that means? Deeper than my teachers. Deeper than that. And then what happens is the spirit, the Most High just take that spirit from you.
Yeah.
And that's why King David said, take not away from you thy Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit. Yeah, when you look up the word novice in the Greek, it's
Strong's
Yeah,
G
neophyte.
3504. Neophytos.
yep, it says newly planted, a new convert, a neophyte, one who has recently become a Christian and been brought into the truth.
Nobody coming to the field.
You would be a novice.
And them demons know whether you're a novice or not,
Yeah, they know.
because they test your ass.
Yeah.
This is Numbers, I'm sorry, keep saying Numbers. Matthew 6:22. It says, the light of the body is the
Start
eye.
from 20, see what that
20,
says.
okay. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light.
So when you don't do this thing, it says in the Apocrypha, it said putting that off the Lord day to day. So you got guys that take a little week off over here, they go to Las Vegas with their chick for 2 weeks over their favorite auntie sick out in California, so they go out there, you know? Then they hang out with some Israelites that really don't want to do the work, but they want to go out on boat trips or something like that, or go bowling or shooting range.
Pleasure
They're like,
seekers.
they're pleasure seekers, you know? The Most High is not dealing with that, man. We in the work right now, man.
Yeah.
The night cometh where no man can work. So this is the time you're supposed to work. You don't take no breaks. We haven't taken a break. We're here right now in the studio.
Break, but my thing is, what is that in this world to take a break for?
Well, there's a lot of things. There's money. There's
Well, it doesn't if you're into the world, but if you're really into
the
the truth.
world. Well, you
Yeah.
nailed it on the head. They love the world. Heaven loved this. Give me that.
Yeah.
Second was that Second Timothy 4.
Yeah, if you're really into this truth.
Heaven loved this present world.
Yeah, if you're really into this truth, you really hate this world. Straight up.
I started, it's 2 Timothy 4, I started 8. It says, henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge,
Oh, read up above that.
um,
Where he says about his departure.
okay,
And this is for what is his name? ETT or whatever his name.
that guy.
Oh, end time teachers.
Sometime teacher.
Verse 6. For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand.
Is it talking about him going on a plane?
Oh.
I'm leaving
No.
on a jet plane, don't know when I'll be, but no. it's talking about him going before the Roman authorities because they had him on trial, right?
Right.
So they sentenced him, they said, okay, you're gonna die now.
Yep.
For the charges, being condemned for the charges of sedition, you know? Because when they were talking about the kingdom, the Roman authorities took that as a threat,
Yeah,
that there's gonna be an army that's gonna come and take that sedition.
yep,
Peter was guilty of sedition, the apostle Paul was guilty of sedition. And the reason why they crucified that was a heinous crime, a heinous act, to die by crucifixion.
yeah.
That was a horrible, heinous death.
Yeah.
So they said, well, you're a Roman citizen, so we're not gonna give you that heinous, death. We're just gonna chop your head off. And then Paul knew it. And Paul went, and the story and the history goes that Peter was trying to run away from the Roman authorities, and he saw Yahushua come. This is in the history, it's not in the scriptures. And he saw Yahushua coming, and he said, Lord, what are you doing walking? He said, I'm gonna go over there and get crucified again. And then Peter felt bad and walked back and gave himself up to the Romans. Like I said, that's in the history, outside the scriptures, okay? But Paul went, he said, okay, I'm definitely gonna go face them. They're the authority. The reason why I said all that is for my man, ETT. That the Romans in 13 chapter is talking about the Roman Empire. How do we know that? When you read down about the 5th, 6th, 7th verse, it tells you tribute to who tribute is to. Dude, who is tribute to? It wasn't the Jewish authority, the Israelite authorities. It was the Romans because they received tribute, which was taxes.
Yeah. Well, Yahushua asked about whose superscription.
Exactly. So the Apostle Paul backed up with Yahushua said.
Right.
Render unto Caesar what is Caesar, and render unto the Most High what's the Most High.
That's
That's
it.
it.
So Deacon the car went off. He went off. They go off on certain things. They on a lot of things, but they off on certain things.
Yeah, because they're novices.
They're novices.
These
Yeah?
guys are still novices, even though you wouldn't feel that way, but you are.
They know the scriptures. They know a lot of things, but they go off on things.
Yeah, there's a scripture where it says no.
Because please tell me, go to Romans. Go right to it. Romans. Romans 13. Read like the first 2 verses, then you can jump down and read really quick where it says tribute, and then look up the word tribute. It means tax. They weren't paying taxes to the so-called Jewish leaders. They were paying it to the Romans.
Yep.
Because what did the Romans do if you didn't pay taxes? They're going to send their army on you.
That's right.
And what Paul was saying is, don't gather a bunch of y'all together because Israel, the saints were getting big. So he said, don't let that go into your head and think you're going to take down the Roman Empire because they have the power. They, like one man, and they'll get up in your butt.
All right, I'll open your butt.
Go ahead.
Romans 13:1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
That's the Most High. Go ahead.
For there is no power but that of the Most
Of the
High.
Most High. Go ahead.
The powers that be are ordained of the Most
Who's
High.
the powers that be? The Roman Empire. So how do we apply it today? We ain't talking about the ancient Roman Empire. We're talking about this system that we're under.
America.
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
Whosoever therefore resisted the power,
What does it mean to resist?
fight
To
against.
take up arms against them.
Yep.
Because you're going to lose.
Yep.
You know, he that beareth the sword, he that
He beareth not the sword in
he
vain.
beareth not the sword in vain, or he that kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. And the Lord told Peter when he chopped off Malcolm's
Here.
ear, he said, how do you
He
quote
said,
it?
he that liveth by the sword
Shall die by the sword. Yeah?
gone.
I got a couple of examples, a couple of guys who came against the Roman Empire. Acts 5 and 36 and 37. Before these days rose up Theudas, boasting himself to be somebody.
So now let's say Theudas. Who would be Theudas today? That would be Grandmaster J, right?
Grandmaster J.
Because he rolled up with the guns, and you don't see him no more.
Right.
The last time he put up a video, he took off the comment section because people cursed his ass out.
Yeah. He been found out.
He been found out.
Acts 5 and 36. For before these days rose up Theudas, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain.
Wait a minute, what is the word slave? How many men joined himself?
400.
400. What happened to them? They all got put to death. And
And
Esau is showing his power right now.
oh, yeah.
There's the lamb with 2 horns and speak as a dragon.
As a
He's
dragon.
now we know what that means.
Right.
He's speaking as a dragon right the fuck now.
Yep.
Excuse my Swedish.
Yeah, cause,
Yeah.
cause he know that his time is short. They know they gotta get this new order popping.
Well, why they got to get the new order popping? Because they got to get the electronic, the digital oils in them. So when the Lord come to deliver us, he gonna see them. He gonna see the Lucifer race. He said, "No more, we can sold out. Fuck them. You know, just keep going, Yahushua. Just keep going. Go back in this. I'll make a new nation." Well, that's not gonna happen.
Right,
You know,
cause the Lord got the elect.
you got the elect.
The 7,000 men that have not bowed the knee.
That's in this case, it's 144,000, but plus the 1/3.
Yep.
Yep, Acts 5:36, for before these days rose up Theudas, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who were slain, and all as many as obeyed him were scattered and brought to naught. After this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of the taxing.
Right.
And
Why in the days of the taxing? Because they were heavily taxing the Roman so-called Jewish wars were over the fact that the Romans during the time of Nero, and then you had the 4 Caesars, and then you had Vespasian and Titus, is because they were taxing the hell out of Jacob and Esau. So it's like, we ain't paying these fucking taxes, we gonna go, you know?
We'll go to war.
Now, why do you think they had this whole thing set up with the National Guard going down to DC? It was like, how many of them? It was like 25,000 of them. But now they're 5,000, and they're saying that them fencing the National Guard, the 5,000 gonna be there permanently. Why do you think why do you think they did that?
Yeah, cause it's gonna be.
Because something's gonna happen where they gonna go. This time, people gonna really go down and they're gonna be ready.
Yeah.
They're gonna be ready. Because we know that the first thing was a setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they bust in the Capitol building, you can see that they pulled out the real windows and put that
Breakable
fake shit
window.
and breakaway windows, and it was plexiglass. Wait a minute, that's the great Capitol. You got plexiglass?
Right,
Well,
right.
bullshit, but people don't see it.
Yeah.
You know, but they're ready this time because motherfuckers are gonna be starving out here.
Oh yeah.
Second Ezra, the 15th chapter is gonna take place in a big way.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be going down and they're gonna get these motherfuckers from that boat. Oh, they're gonna have the troops there, man.
I went to this one place where I usually get gas, and usually the gas prices were between $2.15 to $2.19. Last time I went, it jumped up to like $2.47.
Well, it's happening right down here
Yeah.
in New York.
Yeah, it did, the silver prices just jumped up. You know, cause
Yeah, jump, yep, that's it, yep, that's it.
yeah, so hey, things are happening, man.
They keep on pumping money into the economy, so
Yep.
you gotta pay more for shit.
Well, inflation, hyperinflation works is when they push money, digital money and paper money into the system, and people spend it, and that's why they give you stimulus, to spend it into, you know,
The economy.
the economy. But now if they hold it, I'm gonna hold it, you're not gonna experience hyperinflation. Hyperinflation takes place when you put those extra dollars into the system, you know?
Like that old soup analogy, put more water in the soup.
Yeah,
Stretch
alcohol,
it.
you go to a bar, they water it down to, you know,
Water in the alcohol.
that's it. Watering down, whatever. Go ahead, where we at?
Acts 5:37. After this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of the taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed.
Yeah.
So that's a couple of examples of individuals that came up against the Roman government. What happened to them? They were put to death.
Yeah.
Okay, because they came up against the Roman government carnally. And Esau's power is the sword. And that's what we keep telling you, you jakes out there, you ain't gonna beat Esau by the sword because his power is the sword. Yahushua is the one that's coming with the angels to beat Esau. As a matter of fact, since I said that, let me get the scripture.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got a point here.
Yeah, well, 'cause there were a lot of revolts back then against the Roman Empire because of the taxation.
That's right.
You know, that's why you had people that would come up and would be put back down. And the reason why they weren't able to take the Roman Empire down, even though it seemed like at times that they probably had them cornered, is because the Lord set them up in prophecy.
Yep,
They had to rule because that was who the Lord put up in power.
That's right. Here it is.
Camera's good?
First Corinthians 15 and 24, it says, then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, he is Yahushua, even the Father, Yahweh, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power.
Because he set it up. The Lord said he's promotion coming either from the east or the west, but the Most High setteth up one and taketh down another. So until the time is set, that empire is not gonna fall. You know, there's certain things that happen in prophecy that lead up to that particular empire falling.
Yeah, since you said that, Isaiah 63 is a prophecy, because when Yahushua comes back, who's he gonna zero in on?
Right.
Esau.
Which goes with the second Ezra 6. The Esau is the end of the world. You know, the end of the age.
Yeah, not Asa, Esau.
Right.
Yeah, this guy, this clown, Janet, what's his name?
Oh, Geno
Janet Joplin.
Janet Joplin.
Yeah, he's a clown. He's a damn clown, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all those Christians are now, they're slowly going, we ain't pick up the Apocrypha from watching us.
Yeah.
You know?
Never heard nobody going to the Apocrypha.
Yep, here's the
I
prophecy.
can remember.
Isaiah 63 and 1, it says, who is this that cometh from Edom with
Thy garments.
right, thy garments from Bozrah, this that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury.
Will show you that this devil has to be taken down by the force of Yahushua.
Violently,
Violently.
by way of the great millstone.
Yeah. Because they were set up, they got into that power, they were given the blessing of the sword. They took the world by violence, and they have to be brought down by violence.
Yep.
There's no
He that killeth by the sword must be killed by the sword. He that leaveth in captivity must go into captivity.
Right. And there's no opponent out there strong enough to take these devils down. That's why Yahushua is coming back.
He said, I'll not meet thee as
That's right.
Isaiah 63 and 3, I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury.
Yeah.
And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments.
Hey, that's why Yahushua said to Pontius Pilate, if my kingdom were of this world, then will my servants
So we
fight.
fight, yep. So this is not our world.
That's right.
It has to be a change of worlds.
That's right. So when Yahushua comes back, he's coming to do battle.
And he's bringing that, what do you call that, the world engine.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
Yeah.
That was a bad as Superman.
Yeah.
Bad as still. Because I was rooting for General Lazar. I don't know about you, brother.
Yeah.
I was rooting for the Uncle Tom.
Nah.
You know? And he because when he went on the ship, the atmosphere was different. And this guy, Superman, Kal-El, he kind of coughed.
Right.
And then Lazar looked at him. He said, "You're not even used to our atmosphere. You know, like you fucking Uncle Tom. You know what I'm saying?"
You're way beneath.
Yeah, he was a Tom. Gave up his.
And he said it would take a little while for your system to get back used to it, man. And what he did was, when he sent down that world engine, it went into the ground, and it was changing the whole atmosphere from a earthly atmosphere to a kryptonic atmosphere.
Right.
So that was going to be the new Krypton.
Right.
You know?
Hey, that the scriptures say that, Lord, where the new world where righteousness dwelleth. So that the old world's going out, and the new with the vibration.
With the world engine. Yeah.
That's bad. I gotta watch
Yeah,
that.
because
Yeah. Hey, you watch the Superman, all the Superman movies.
Yeah.
I was there. And them motherfuckers, the giant dude and the woman, they were trying to fuck, Kal-El ass up.
Yeah.
He was fighting for them crackers, man.
yeah,
Preserve it, you know.
Trying to preserve.
See, the real way he was supposed to come, like, what's the one where he was a little boy?
Oh, yeah, Brightburn.
Brightburn, that was the way you're supposed to come.
Right.
Kill everybody, man. You
Right.
gonna kill your daddy, kill your mommy,
Yeah,
take
well.
your mother up in the closet, throw her ass down, fuck that shit.
And it's
And I made, hey brother, when I saw that movie, I went to my demon one, I said, fuck you, I'm gonna see it.
Yeah.
Because, the first person I heard speak about it was, Malcolm, you know, the elder of GMS Chicago. And I guess he didn't get into it like I got into it. He
Yeah.
kind of said, yeah, it's a good. I said, let me go see that. Man, I got all into it, man. Nobody was around me. There was maybe 3 other people in the theater, and I got all into it. And I was like, yeah. Then when I left out, I had the camera in my car, and it was raining, pouring, and I made the video right there. I said, you got to see that. You got to see that movie, man. And then all the brothers started seeing it, you know. I said, that's the way Khalil was supposed to come, man.
Right.
Yeah.
He was playing.
Yeah.
I got a quick precept since you're saying all that. Isaiah 66:15.
Oh, and then he even got in a woman. He fell in love with the little girl, and she said he was a weirdo.
Yeah.
Well, we are weirdos.
We
Men
are.
are weirdos to women.
Yep.
You guys are weird. You pick up frogs and shit. Yeah, we are supposed to be weird to you.
Right.
You know, and you're weird to us in a sexual way.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know when he got into the girl when he was 12 years old, and she was 12, and she didn't understand.
Yeah.
You're a pervert. No, you wasn't a pervert. What the fuck you mean? Motherfucker, what is a pervert?
Right.
You know?
Yep. Isaiah 66:15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury.
I'm sorry, one more thing. When that ship that was under in the garage or the attic or whatever, and started communicating with him when he was 12 years old.
Yeah.
And when he was 12 years old,
Yeah.
It was like calling him.
it was calling, yeah.
Like
And he was
They
like,
showing you that they were Israelites, because his name was Khalil.
yeah.
Like,
And he
All
was,
powerful.
he was trying to find out where that voice was coming from.
Yep, that's it.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, that's heavy.
And he kept getting drawn to it more and
And
more.
his parents kind of kept him from it,
Yeah.
you know? That's why ultimately he killed both of them.
Yeah, like Samuel. Remember, he kept hearing voices,
Yeah.
and then Eli said, "Look, next time you hear the voice,
That's
you
right.
say, Here I am, O Lord."
Yeah, because he thought it was Eli calling him.
Call
Yep,
him.
that's
Yeah.
it. It was the Lord. That's how the Lord operates, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Isaiah 66:15. For
This,
behold,
this is the way to walk you in it when you turn to the
That's it. That's it.
when you hit the calling.
Yep.
Proverbs, the first chapter.
That's a lesson right there when you hear the calling.
Yeah, that's the damn thing.
When they come calling,
Yeah, when you come back, I'll start about that, yeah. My man,
Calvin
yeah,
Locker.
what was his character's name?
Oh man, King something, King Louis.
Yeah, King Louis.
Yeah. When they come calling, which he's a Bohemian.
Yeah, but which is Benjamin.
Benjamin,
yeah.
Bohemian, yeah. Isaiah 66:15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. Those chariots are the so-called UFOs, which that's what the so-called white man calls them, UFOs. With his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. Because out of them chariots, some of those chariots, laser beams of fire is going to come out and burn up the infrastructure, burn up people. People are going to be running.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
when you read the scriptures and you pick out certain things in the scriptures, you can clearly see.
You can see it.
You can see that it's talking about UFOs.
Yep.
You can see that it's talking about lasers coming from the UFOs.
Absolutely. Yep. and the movie that dramatized that was War of the Worlds. But the thing about that movie is they gave the credit to little green men from Mars.
Right.
It's not little green men from Mars. It's going to be Yahushua and the angels. Which Yahushua is a so-called black man.
Yep.
And so are the angels. They're dark-skinned men.
Which they show you in the first War of the World, they show you the paint, the glass thing.
In the 50s. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, back in the stained glass window. Because we actually saw it. If you have a good VCR, like back in the day, you had a 4-head VCR.
Yeah.
You had the 2 heads and you had the 4-head. Right. If you pause the 4-head VCR, you got a clearer picture.
Right.
The 2-head had that squiggly line going right. So we had that 4-head VCR. We paused it, and there you can see a clear stained glass image of basically Yahushua.
Yeah.
And they all, oh, by the way, in the movie, they all ran into the church.
Yep.
They all ran into the church for sanctuary. Why? There it is, the aliens were attacking and they ran into the church for sanctuary. They're showing you right there.
No.
And that's exactly what's going to happen to you people out there. One of these days, we're going to wake up, like it says in Revelation 1:7, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. The skies are going to be covered with so-called UFOs, chariots. Okay? That's all.
You got more?
I lost.
I got a precept
Yeah.
if I can.
Oh, we can go back to, Numbers.
Okay,
Finish
Numbers
that.
12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we gotta go to 2nd Ezra 14.
You said you had a precept.
Yeah, 1 Thessalonians 5, concerning these people out here. It says, 1 Thessalonians 5:1, it says, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
But not for us.
But not
because
for
we're
us, right.
Constantly looking for it today.
Right. Come.
These people ain't looking for the day.
Right. Habakkuk said, I will stand upon my watch
Yeah.
and look to see what the Most High will say. You know?
Yeah, so did Job. Job said,
Yeah.
I know out of my body I will see Yahushua come. He said, out of the flesh.
You're not flesh, yeah.
Yeah, roughly paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't see
So-
with my eyes.
So Job knew he was going to be back
Come.
in the reincarnation, because he said, I'm going to see my Lord, my Redeemer, and out of flesh.
Right.
Now we know Job died back there.
Right.
So what does he mean by that? Meaning he knew he would come back in his generation, and he would come back in the generation when Yahushua is coming back.
Come.
And we believe that we're in that generation now.
Which proves that Job was a prophet.
There you go.
I think Yahushua at the end of John, he said, what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch. Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're doing. I mean, you can tell by our videos. Each video we do is all about prophecy. The main prophecy we're talking about is that chip.
Yeah.
We're watching to see.
Because that's the next big thing. That's the thing that we're looking for.
Come.
It is.
That's the next big major thing that we're looking, prophecy to be fulfilled.
That's it. So
Because
we're watching.
that's gonna move everything forward faster. You know, because the world wars, they could break out and it could be something done quick.
Yep.
You know? But see, with this chip, they want to put it into every individual. So they got to create the right scenario. They got to have the infrastructure. Then they got to get people accustomed to it, you know, and inject them.
Which they got the right scenario, that Maxine nonsense.
Oh,
Come on.
matter of fact, that I'm sorry, Pastor.
No, you got
That on Amazon Prime, Utopia and Dystopia, those two series. They pretty much show you that the people had a chip, but the way they show it like a barcode on the back of their wrist. And they said that everybody that got injected with that was immune from the virus. Because what happened was they went back in time, and the one Jake doctor, his father was dying of cancer, and the one guy that supposedly went back in time, he took out some blood out of himself and injected, the doctor's father with it. And within days, the father got better, and all signs of cancer were gone from him. You know, so it was a thing where wherever they injected them with, it's supposed to have got eradicated all those diseases. You know,
Like the Crippen virus.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, because,
Will Smith's blood was the antidote.
Yep, that's it.
I can save you. I can save you.
Yeah, that dude wasn't trying to hit nothing, man. You had his woman, he was take your ass out.
You don't mess with them.
You don't mess with a man's robot, his robot.
A zombie's woman.
Yeah.
Even if he is a zombie.
Yeah, exactly. Why?
Where we at?
Oh yeah.
Was
You said, number. Did you finish your? Precept?
Yeah, that was pretty much the point.
Okay.
You
We're
know,
back in Numbers. Numbers 12:4. It says, and the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam. No, I didn't read the third verse. Right. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, come out, ye three, unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud, which would be a so-called UFO,
Yep.
and stood in the door of the tabernacle. Now, clouds, straight up clouds don't have doors. So that would have had to be
Well, they were talking about the door of the tabernacle, not the ship, the door of the tabernacle, the entrance to the tabernacle.
and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words, if there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, which is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, and even apparently, and not in dark speeches, and the similitude of the Lord shall he beheld or behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. That was a punishment.
Yeah, he didn't do it. He didn't punish Aaron because Aaron was a man. But this was a woman. This was a woman. So you were completely out of order.
Yep. Yeah, the Lord.
And she got straight.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? You know what's gonna get you, nigga, woman straight? Most I can leprosize your ass.
Yeah. Some of them, they'll probably be
Leprosy.
dancing down the street. I'm a white girl now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They'll run and get
Oh,
the blonde wig.
Yeah, no, you can't. They ain't gonna be wearing no blonde wigs in the kingdom.
That's the number one weave and wig that you.
Because
so,
you're fucked up in the head.
Because you're all messed up in the head. Man.
Unbelievable.
You get the blonde. And then when you read the scriptures, it shows you a lot of you so-called black women, you go to these churches, right? And you be the ones wearing the blonde weaves and wigs. It tells you in the scripture, if you have blonde hair, that's leprosy
Well,
of the
they don't know
scalp.
how to read, huh? They don't know how to read.
That's
They don't know. They
leper-
got the only thing they do with the Bible is put it on their arm.
Yeah, that's it.
On all that
So that's proof
hard
that,
sweat.
that's right. That's proof that you ain't reading the scriptures. Also proof that your so-called pastor is not teaching you the scriptures. Because as soon as, let's say you walk in the congregation, you got that stupid blonde weave or wig on your head, your pastor is supposed to say, sister, do you know that having blonde hair is leprosy of the
Well,
scalp?
that nigga don't know. He don't know. His wife
The
is
show's
in
great.
blonde wig.
That
And the
shows
church is a big joke. It's a
is.
major joke.
It's a
man.
whorehouse.
He said his
Joke.
wife has a blonde wig.
Yeah.
Yeah, his wife has a blonde weave. And that's the, man, what is it? Why are you, somebody should put that in the comment section. Why are you so-called black women enamored with the blonde, you know, of all the color
They wanna be,
you can get brunette,
They want to be like the white girl.
you want to get the blonde.
They want to be the ultimate white chick.
What's up with that, you know?
They like in the movie White.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about yeah, with the Wayne brothers. Yeah.
Blonde weave, blonde wig. That's the number one. If you don't believe us, just Google it. Black women and blonde weaves. And
So
man,
you don't see white women working on Wall Street. Well, not Wall Street. They work in an office building. Wall Street is dead.
Right.
With dreadlocks, they wouldn't get the job. They wouldn't get the job. And you see a white woman with dreadlocks, you know she's getting pumped by some Benjaminite.
oh yeah,
You know.
yep.
I got a precept.
Actually, what was that movie? With what's that guy's name? That he said the brothers went down with breakfast and came
Oh
back with
yeah,
jobs.
I'm gonna get you something.
Yeah,
yeah.
With the white chick that was with.
Yeah, she had the little kid, white, black, power.
No, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
The so-called Rastas, they like to get the white woman.
He said, "Whitey, is it true?"
Yeah, white is a kid. Yeah, well, Jake is all fucked up.
Yeah.
And Jake is messed up in the head. He's crazy. He's bugged out. He's gone. He
Yeah.
needs a spiritual
Yeah.
lobotomy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how you know who Jake is, because that was the Lord said He will make a sign to the nations to show them who the Israelites are by what they go through. You know.
Yep, I got a precept to back you up, Apostle. Isaiah 1:3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know. My people doth not consider. Our sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger.
To anger.
They are gone away backward. Why should ye be stricken any more? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it. Meaning you don't have this knowledge, you don't have this truth. That's what brings a sound mind.
Yeah.
The scriptures speak about sound doctrine.
Yep.
That cannot be. This is the sound doctrine. So if you have this truth, you're sound. You know.
And the Lord said He healed them with His word.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Also, it's written, and knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability.
Times, yeah.
Knowledge and wisdom of what? This truth, this knowledge.
The scriptures speak about healing in his wings.
Yeah, healing in his wings.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a precept.
Yep, you got it.
This is Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 32. And it says, Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. And I believe there's another scripture in Jeremiah says that my people have become more wicked than the wicked. So the wicked trying to be like these wicked ass niggas. You know, that's something, because Esau's the wicked, but Jake overtook them in wickedness, man.
I'll go to the 11th verse. I hope I'm in the right.
This is the second chapter. Okay,
I hope I'm in the right. I think I am.
okay. This is Jeremiah 2 and 11. Hath a nation changed their gods,
Have a nation change their God. Go ahead.
which are yet no
Yeah,
gods?
Esau's not a God.
Right.
Now that cuts Nate, the Almighty Nate. You change your God for that which is no God.
That's right.
What the hell you mean Christ? Most High Christ,
Right.
Most High God, Christ blessed.
Broken cisterns, man.
Go ahead.
Which are yet no gods, but my people have changed their glory for that which doth not profit.
Yeah, but a woman, like you said, with black woman wearing wigs. And you look like a fucking
You
clown.
look like a clown.
You see a woman with she's a black as tar,
Yeah.
nappy headed.
Yeah.
Plus, I heard she got that nasty woman disease. I had to throw that in there. And she is black as tar with the brightest, longest wig.
Wig.
And don't you know when the white man sees you, they laugh at you.
Oh yeah.
They say, look at this dumb black bitch. Look at this dumb nigga bitch.
Does she really think she's blonde?
She thinks she's blonde. She thinks she looks good. There's nothing good. You look, you know.
Like horrible.
Yeah.
I think in that movie, The Gremlins, there was one of the Gremlins that put on a blonde wig with some lipstick.
Yeah, because that was the Gremlins was code for niggas.
Yep. I forgot my man's
The
name.
real name of the movie is niggas. You know?
Yeah, the
You remember that? I forgot to do the.
sort of, yeah,
They
very
tamed
good.
him, they got him in the movie theater. And
Yeah.
they tamed him with the Snow White in the seventh ward. You know?
Oh, yeah, I was watching
They
it.
was, they were singing, they were eating popcorn. They were acting just like niggas.
Damn, man,
And Shia, that's when the movie came out in not like the late 80s,
Right.
early 90s. And Shia, boy, he used to always quote that movie. He said, you know how they got you niggas, they got you in the movie theater and burned your ass. And they even had a scene where they had a criminal that looked just like a felonious monk.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know?
I got a quick precept. 2 Timothy 3.
Or they call him Magwai.
My boy.
And Magwai is either Cantonese or Mandarin for devil. Magwai means devil.
Oh,
It was
shit.
calling them devils, you know? What's his name? Magwai? Black devil.
2 Timothy 3 and 6. For this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts.
Yeah, these guys that have these camps with a lot of women in, there's all kind of debauchery going on, all kind of
Silly women.
skullduggery, which by the way, skullduggery means adultery. That's what it means. It doesn't mean ripping somebody off, it means skullduggery. It means adultery.
Look at that.
I got a quick one. It's
Look it
Jeremiah.
up if y'all don't believe me.
Oh no.
Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish; they have not known me. They are silent children.
Yeah, Sardish, we looked that up. Means stupid.
And they have none understanding.
Not understanding. Oh, also, was it Yahweh Shai said that? The children of this world is wiser than the children of light. The children of light is talking about Israelites.
Yep.
The children of this world is talking about Esau.
Esau, yep. It said they are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge.
That's it.
Did you have more stuff?
No.
So we can go to where?
Yeah.
Another precept?
That was it.
So we can go to, where I first said,
Second Ezra.
Second Ezra 14:1.
You got it?
I got it.
Yeah, okay.
Second Ezra chapter 14, verse 1.
Oh.
And it came to pass upon the third day, was what, 30 years old?
Yeah, yeah.
And it came to pass upon the third day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me and said, Ezra, Ezra. And I said, Here am I, Lord. And I stood up upon my feet. Then said he unto me, In the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talk with him when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him and led my people.
You can speak on it.
Come. Yeah, this is going into the burning bush, which is Yahweh Shai speaking to Moses when he called unto Moses. Because that's when the Lord was calling. Oh, we were speaking about the calling earlier.
Yep.
You know, that was when the Lord was calling out to Moses to build them up to go to Egypt to deliver the children of Israel from under the hand of Pharaoh. It says, and I sent him and led my people out of Egypt and brought him up to the mount of where I held him by me a long season, right? That was 40 days and 40 nights where the Lord showed him. See, the Lord gave him laws, statutes, commandments, gave him the 2 tables of stone written with the finger of the Most High, the 10 commandments, which was an instruction or guideline for the rest of the laws. Mm-hmm. But he also showed him a lot of different visions. See, this is why he was up there so long. Because it don't take 40 days and 40 nights.
Right, as you read on, I don't know if you read it, because I'm into this right here, but it said he showed him the prophecies in the last days.
That's right.
So he saw the chip, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I looked up skullduggery in the Common Dictionary. It says trickery, which is bullshit. So I went to the Etymon online, skullduggery, fornication.
Which is adultery.
Which is adultery. Then it goes on and says, from 1856, apparently an alteration of Scottish skullduggery, which is adultery. See?
That's what it literally means.
That's what it literally means. Huh?
Come.
Go ahead.
You said you had something?
Yeah, this is Second Ezra 14:1.
No, that's what I'm reading.
Oh, that's what you're reading? Oh, Salaka, brother.
That's all right. It's the spirit, bro.
It's the spirit.
Salaka.
Verse 5. And I told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times.
He showed Moses what's happening now. He showed him America.
Yep.
He showed him the destruction. He showed him the Howard Shai. He showed him the chip.
Yeah. He showed him the creation.
Showed him the creation.
That's how he was able to write everything.
Oh, well, the Genesis 1, Genesis 2,
Yeah.
he showed him what the serpent was.
Yeah.
So the reason why we know it's right and exact is because the Most High showed him.
Right.
He said, this is what happened in the beginning.
Yeah.
This is how the heavens were made. You know, this is how man was made. You know?
Yeah. It said, and told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times and the end.
And the end.
Yeah.
So what did Moses see? Moses saw the missiles.
Yeah.
Moses saw the race riots. Well, not the race riots, his riots. Because now these riots just beating the shit out of everybody. You know, Edomites beating the hell out of them. Like you got the Proud Boys beating the hell out of the Antifa, which they both Edomites.
Right.
Got a head guy of the Proud Boys is a Manassite, and then come to find out this guy was an informant. You know? So,
I figured that dude was a fucking paid motherfucker.
It says, and commanded him, saying, These words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide. And the Lord also showed us King Solomon the beginning, the ending, and the midst of the time.
in the midst of the time, yeah.
Yeah. It says, and now I say unto thee, that thou lay up in thy heart the signs that I have showed, and the dreams that thou hast seen.
So now some dreams are from a multitude of business, some dreams are from eating a bad tuna fish sandwich,
Yep.
and some dreams are actually visions.
Yep.
Right.
And the interpretations which thou hast heard.
The breakdowns,
Gone.
the hermeneutics, the exegesis,
Extra cheesy.
exegesis.
Extra cheese.
It says, for thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt be made with my son.
I got a quick precept.
So the son was all, in the spiritual realm, the son was already in his position.
Yeah.
In the spiritual realm, the angels knew that that was his son.
Yeah.
That's why when the demons encountered him, he called on his name, because the demons was up in the spiritual world.
Yeah.
Oh, they go Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they all came down in the flesh,
Yeah.
and they,
Yeah.
That was the principalities.
principalities, yeah.
I got a quick precept about dreams. This is Ecclesiasticus 34:5. Divinations and soothsayings and dreams are vain, and the heart fancieth as a woman's heart in travail. If they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation,
Which is a vision.
right? Set not thy heart upon them. For dreams have deceived many, and they have failed that put their trust in them. That's pretty much it. Little thing on dreams.
Right, because they said they have failed that put their trust in them, because, you know, just because you have a dream doesn't mean that that's actually going to happen that way.
Yeah, well, the 6th verse, it says, if they be not sent.
It's like a bottle. I can use your bathroom.
Go ahead.
The water.
Yeah,
It's like
like
drink a lot of water.
Apostle Charles had mentioned about, you know, Nate or Bishop Nathaniel, because they get mad, we call him Nate. You know, that he had a dream about King David, and King Masha, you know, that he said put pork juice in the rice or something like that, and that's how you knew that wasn't King David.
Yo, well, you can't go, what if you had a dream that your woman committed adultery?
Right.
Are you gonna kick her, kill her? Oh, I had a dream, you know?
Yeah.
And let me read you this here, Genesis 20, verse 1. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur. It's funny, you simple ass niggas saying, if you of another nation, you can't get a dream or a vision. Well, I'm gonna show you that the Lord dealt with other nations, gave them dreams and visions. And sojourned in, what is this, Gerar. And Abraham said to Sarah, his wife, she is my sister. And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But the Most High came to Abimelech in a dream by night. There's another nation, and said to him, behold, thou art but a dead man. For the woman which thou hast taken, she is a man's wife.
Yeah, the Lord. Woo, boy.
Scared the hell out of them too.
That was a vision in the form of a dream.
Yeah.
Right.
That goes with Joel, the 2nd chapter, Acts, the 2nd chapter. You know?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, because when the Lord said he's gonna pour out all flesh, he was talking about other nations too. They having dreams.
Yeah. Visions.
They having visions of the destruction and all that, man.
Yeah.
That's why you see them get on camera and make those different videos. They're all frantic because they have just freshly woke up from those visions.
Yeah.
All right, so back.
There's another one, Genesis 31, verse 11, but just read the one verse. And the angel of the Most High spake unto me in a dream, saying, Yaikwab, and I said, here am I. And that makes you think of the situation with Samuel and Eli.
Yep. That's right.
So go ahead, you got it.
Okay. This is back in 2nd Ezra 14:9. For thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son, and with such as be like thee until the times be ended. For the world has lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. For the world is
Break it down as you go along.
For the world hath lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. So you're looking at around 400 or 500 BC, when Ezra was on the scene. you know, and you know the earth, most so-called scholars date the time of Adam to around 4000 BC, the time of Abraham around 2200, 2000 BC, around there, King David, King Solomon, King Saul around 1100, 1000.
Well, you gotta go back to the beginning of the earth and the universe. So we're talking how many years? We're talking what, if it's going on 14,000 if I'm not mistaken?
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
something like that,
Yeah. Because as you read it, it's gonna break the numbers down.
Yep. Because that's how the Lord set everything up. Time, you know, He set everything up in time.
Yeah, because the rebuilding of the Second Temple was around the 6th century BC. You know, with Zerubbabel, Joshua the high priest, and all that. Yeah.
It says, "For the world has lost its youth, and the times begin to wax old. For the world is divided into 12 parts." Now,
Yeah, which represent 12,000 years.
Yep.
So when you add another 2,000 plus years, that's 14,000 years.
Yeah.
So the universe, the beginning of the universe, is about 14,000 years old.
Yeah. It says, "And 10 parts of it are gone already." That was it said, "and half of a 10th part." So by the time Ezra was on the scene, it had been about 9,500.
Yeah, 500 years before the birth of the Lord.
Yep. So those about almost 10 parts or 9.5 parts were gone, and then from the time that this vision was shown to him to Yahushua was about another 500 years in the future. So that would have made the exact 10,000, which 10 is a representation of the kingdom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know,
Completion.
When David came, that was about 1,000.
1,000 years,
Now
1,000
you got
BC.
tens in there, series of tens.
So then when Yahushua came on the scene, that ushered in his kingdom, which is about to be shown which was 2,000 years into the future, which we're at that time now. It says, "And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part, which was the 500 years, till Yahushua came on the scene. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption."
And that represents us now
Yeah,
as well.
set thine house in order. The house that's being built up right now is the house of David.
Right. There's a scripture I was reading earlier. Speaks about I think it's in the book of Isaiah, where it says, "I will set them up as their former estate," you know, which goes back to what the tabernacles of David that are fallen.
That's
You know?
Amos 9, right?
Con. You know, so that's what the Lord is doing now. He's raising up the tabernacles of David that are
Gotcha.
fallen.
Come.
Amos, the 9th chapter, 11th verse, it says, "In that day," and you can expound, "in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen."
Right, because that same, those same spirits that were back then with King David would be the first fruits, the ones that are gonna be the 144,000, the ones that are gonna be set up in the next kingdom, as in the book of Revelation speaks about the first resurrection. Blessed is he that has a part in the first resurrection. That's the first dominion, which is the first fruits, which are the first spirits that were created, you know?
The tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof.
Right, the breaches are a representation of all the differences in between all the different tribes. Because you still have that to this day.
Yep. Yeah. "And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old."
Yeah, because we had fallen, and now the Lord is building it back up. But he's building it back up the right way,
As in the days of old.
as in the days of old, because during the 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, you had Jay coming together, but they didn't have that breath in them, as it speaks of in Ezekiel 37. You know, they were coming together under the being of the same nation or whatever the case is, but they didn't have the breath, which is this knowledge. You
These
know?
other camps that don't have the whole truth,
That's
they don't have the breath either. They
Yeah.
don't have the whole breath.
Yeah.
So they gotta get the whole breath,
Yeah,
which is the whole road.
the whole road.
yeah. Otherwise, you 99.5 just won't do.
Hey, Apostle Paul said here, right? Apostle Paul said, "I have not shunned to declare unto you all
Yeah.
the counsel of the Heavenly Father." So We're supposed to give you all the truth.
You have an unction from the Holy One, and you know all things.
Yeah.
You gotta
So
eat that
then
raw.
you got these other Israelites out there. They get mad when we say we got 100% truth. You know, they get mad and they get.
Well, why would you get mad at it when the scripture said you're supposed to have
We're
100%?
supposed to have 100% truth.
Hey, it
No
says,
man can have 100% truth. No
Well,
one.
they obviously don't understand.
Exactly.
well, the Lord said that he will come and sup with those men. It says, 14th verse, 2 Corinthians 14:14. Let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. Why? Because the hasten part is hasten for the Lord to come, watching, doing what the Lord said to do, so when these things do come, that we may
Well,
find.
that's gay to hasten the Lord.
Oh boy.
But the scriptures tell you to hasten the Lord, so I guess the scriptures is gay.
I mean the madness that comes out of
The
that.
madness that comes, that group, boy, that group up there,
That's
that's a hella group.
yeah. I mean the reprobateness.
But the reprobateness is legendary.
Yeah, man.
God damn.
That's I mean
There's some
what-
simple ass niggas in Israel.
Hey,
That's all I gotta say.
the scriptures say as a leader of the people is or his people something like
Oh,
that.
so we know that the people, they know, they,
Yeah.
You said you read Hasten the Times?
Yes. I'll read
idiots,
it again.
idiots par excellence.
Come on.
Damn. It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and
Right.
haste thee to flee from the times, these times.
Be haste for them to get out of here.
Yeah.
Yep. I got
When you, Lord, when you gonna come?
Yeah,
Did not the prophets complain to the Lord?
sure did.
Hold on, wait a minute. I guess it was gay for the apostles to say, well, this time it's
Yeah.
going gay. The Lord, no, y'all being gay.
Yeah.
Y'all being gay.
I got a quick precept to back up what you just read. 1 Corinthians 7:29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none,
That's right.
and they that weep as though they wept not,
Yeah.
and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not, and they that use this world as not abusing it.
Right.
For the fashion of this world passeth away.
Yeah.
Now, that was written more than 2,000 years ago, so how much more now? You know, we got seconds before Yahushua comes and destroys this society.
Come.
We really believe we're close. All the signs are there. You know, even Pastor Dar
Well,
said that.
well, when you go into the prophecies, one prophecy that popped into my head was Daniel's 2nd chapter.
That's
The
it.
feet of it.
Oh yeah. Right.
So we're in that time.
We're in there. We're in there.
You got the head. What's called?
We're in there.
I got a quick precept. This is our 1 Peter 1:9. Receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls, of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you, which is Yahushua, searching what manner of time the spirit of Yahushua which was in them did signify when it testified beforehand the sufferings of Yahushua and the glory that should follow. So that's the part of the hastening. Because they were looking for the Messiah, because they knew once the Messiah came on the scene, then the kingdom would come. And this is why they thought that he said as he was walking, Yahushua said that they thought immediately the kingdom of heaven should appear. And that's why I said the kingdom of heaven is not coming with observation, for the kingdom of heaven is within you. But once Yahushua suffered, now we know the next step is what? The next phase is the kingdom of heaven. And that's what we're waiting for.
Well, when he comes back, that's what he's going to institute, the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
Which heaven is basically a state of mind, you know. Right now we're in Esau's hell. Esau's heaven is our hell, right? And in the kingdom, our heaven is going to be his hell.
Right.
Because that's in the parable of the rich man and Lazarus.
Hey, when you deal with a prophetic timetable, that's another topic.
Yeah,
Throwing it out there. You know, a prophetic timeline.
Yeah.
How do we know that we're in that time? Because when you go to Daniel 7, just say as an example, you got the head of gold, you got the breast and the shoulders of silver. You know, you got the belly, which is
Brass, was it?
Was it brass?
Silver and brass.
Bronze, yep.
Your brass, and then you got a bronze, and then you got the legs of iron, which is the Romans,
Yep.
and then you got the feet of it, part iron and part miry clay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that talking about?
Right.
Anybody that claims to know prophecy, if I tell you what is that talking about, what is the feet talking about? You better tell me it's NATO and the EU. If you're telling me something else, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing.
We're at that time.
We're at that time.
Yeah.
So what's next to come?
Yeah.
That the rock,
Yep.
Yeah.
Just
the
to
stone.
stone,
break it
break
down.
it into
Yeah.
pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, to back up Pastor Dawes, he was saying that you notice each metal was a more degenerative,
Inferior, yeah.
Inferior.
Inferior than the next.
Stronger.
Yeah.
Stronger
Yeah.
physically, but as far as
Quality,
preciousness.
preciousness, yeah,
You
inferior, yeah. Because it started out with gold, fine gold. Then it dwindled down to what? Clay and iron.
Iron, yeah, iron is like one of the strongest metals out there.
Which shows you Esau's
And the
kingdom.
cheapest.
And the cheaper, yep.
And that proves something we always say, Esau's kingdom is nothing compared to the kingdoms before it. Because the Babylonian kingdom, man, even though they didn't have all that so-called high technology, that was a powerful kingdom. You know, the Babylonian kingdom. That's why Daniel said to Nebuchadnezzar, thou art that head of gold. That symbolized his kingdom. He had that wonderful kingdom. But the Lord took that down. Then you had the
And who did the Most High give the dream to? He gave the dream to Nebuchadnezzar,
Nebuchadnezzar, yeah. No,
which was a heathen. So
Which was a
that more proof. The Most High gives dreams and visions to other nations.
Right, the Pharaoh, he gave him a dream about the seven.
Oh, yeah. Seven.
That was it.
7 years of plenty and 7
That's
years.
another
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, man, so it's you know, it's just the Lord's program, man.
I got a piece of it.
Well, he deals with both sides. You guys always forget that. The Heavenly Father said, Isaiah 45, I create peace and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
Yep.
So there's nothing that's, whether it be wickedness or righteousness, there's nothing that the Heavenly Father doesn't.
Yeah, because what Yaakov did to Esau would be considered evil or wicked.
Right.
But guess what? The Most High set it up that
He
way.
sanctioned it.
Ultimately, he's righteous.
Yeah. Even when he does wickedness, he's righteous. He's righteous in all his works, whether it be good or evil. And a lot of you can't understand that. How can the power?
And vengeance is his. Save the Lord.
Yeah.
He said, hey, like Preacher Brian said, the preacher, he said it anytime you get ready to say it.
Yeah, and then he said, will he then find fault? And the scripture say, well, who has resisted his will?
That's it.
You know?
Whether it be
That's it.
good or evil, you can't resist the
And
will.
this is what you churches don't understand.
Yeah.
The rape thing. That comes off as evil. It's evil, but
Right.
It's evil.
it's an evil ass.
Well,
It's a complete evil ass.
God
I
damn.
got a quick precept of.
And you guys can't get that, man. That's why I'm trying not to even say it. You know, you guys just getting an uproar, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Barack, he kicked out Elder Yaakov because he got with a chick that was 16 years old. He's like 56. He said, look, you gotta get out of here. You need to get a upload, man. You know how you get your smartphone,
Yeah.
the phone won't work,
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't get them updates.
Update.
You better get, you in need of about 15 updates, man.
Yeah, Romans, what is
To
it?
get back on level
Yeah.
1.
On track.
Romans the 11th chapter. You think it's
Oh, yeah.
dealing with the heathens, the oil?
Yeah.
Yeah, not the oil.
Talking about the other nations.
Yeah, the olive tree.
Oh, the engrafted.
Yeah, that was the
grafted.
whole, that's what Ariad taught, High Priest Ariad. High Priest Ariad was going off.
Yeah.
I don't know if they went up there and told you, Ariad went off on certain
You know?
things.
Yeah. Definitely. This is Isaiah 45:7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
Yeah, there was a question that somebody kept asking to Captain Tazariak. Does the Most High make a man a mo? He said, no, he don't. I said, yes, he does.
Exactly.
Romans 1 tell you that.
Yeah.
If a guy's a faggot, the Most High put his spirit on him to be a mo.
Yeah.
Gave him over to a reprobate mind.
Gave him over to a reprobate mind.
And when you read the scripture, the word Lord is all in caps. So now they could have left it capital, the first letter capital and the rest
Small.
lowercase. but all the letters are in caps. So you know what that's talking about? The Heavenly Father, Yahweh.
And then that's not spoken about in Genesis 1, it's spoken about in Genesis 2.
Yep.
Was it Genesis 2 verse 4?
Come.
It says the Lord God. In Genesis 1:1 it says God. And you go to any church, they wouldn't let you can confound the churches just by going to those two scriptures.
Look at that.
You know?
Because I'm in the Hebrew now, and I'm looking at it. Yahweh. It says, for the Lord, it says Yahweh, which that's the Most High's name, Yahweh.
Yeah.
And his son's name is Yahweh Shai. So he said he created good and evil. All right, so there you go.
Yes.
I got a precept if I may. This is Second Ezra, the 6th chapter and the 7th verse, because the Most High deals with time, you know, and he sets up nations for a certain period of time, take them out, sets up another one. Except this time, he's gonna set his kingdom up under Yahweh Shai that will rule. Is the only kingdom that will rule forever and will not be taken down by no other nation. So this is Second Ezra in the Apocrypha, chapter 6, verse 7. And it says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?
Right.
And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau, because these are the two characters of the movie that make up the movie. It's all about Jacob and Esau. Every other nation is like filling, you know?
Yeah, they're the two stars.
Right. These are the two stars. Everybody else is like extras.
The protagonist and the antagonist.
Yeah, it says, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So you have to find out who is Esau in this world. We came to find out that the Edomites are the Romans. We found out as of late, Spirit is saying that, you know, coming out more.
But
That
then Romans died and came back and was risen back up again.
right, because
once you understand this book,
right,
and once you listen to the men that the Most High set up, it's easy, man.
right,
It's easy.
But you wanna try to
go deep.
use your warped mind to try to figure this thing out.
Yeah,
This book is not given to. That's why we got to go back to Second Ezra, the 14th chapter, because it said some give to the wise, others hold back. That's also in Second Ezra, the 12th chapter, around about the 36, 37 verse.
and Daniel's
It says
also
some give to some, the one that are wise, and to the others don't give them.
Yeah.
right.
I got a quick precept. Daniel 2:20 and 21. Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of the Most High forever and ever. For wisdom and might are his. And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom. Now this is Daniel.
A beautiful, gotta cut you off.
Yeah.
Trump just knew he was gonna be president
Oh, yeah.
again. But the elite on this earth said nope.
Yeah.
And they probably was gonna let him be president. The plan was to let him be president, but he was bucking up against too many things.
Right.
He said that the first thing he said about the thing was it was a hoax.
Yeah.
That's the first thing he said. They didn't want to wear the mask, and he said by April he was bucking up against the leadership, man. Because that's Nero. That's Nero's nature.
Yep.
And then see the ultimate leader of the Roman Empire was not Nero or Vespasian. You had guys behind the scenes. You had the Illuminati behind the scenes, man.
Yep.
So they said, we're gonna take a robot and we're gonna put him, an actual robot, and put him up in there. And now he made a statement, I heard it for somebody, I think it was Dabu 7. Oh, by the way, Dabu 7 is a Gadite. His line, he's a Hopi Indian. Well, he said, he got about a figure, he's waiting.
Oh yeah, he raps and everything. He raps, he dances.
Talk shit. It's like Jay. Anyway, I believe he said that. I could be wrong. Or somebody else said that. Tim, whatever. I don't know if you watch this guy, Tim something.
Tim Cass.
Tim Cash. I think he said, one of them guys said that. Which he's a Jake. That dude ain't no but a Jake. I think he's a white boy. But anyway, what did he say? Damn, I hate this. Oh, he said that one of them said that Biden said a while back, could have been 4 years ago, he made a statement. He said, if somebody want to look it up, they can look it up. He said, only a tyrant, only a dictator
Right,
would make a whole bunch of executive orders.
right.
Now, what did the first thing he did? In
Executive
2
order.
weeks, he signed off on 40 different executive orders.
He
So
says,
he prophesied against himself.
Yeah.
So he's telling you that he's a dictator.
yeah, the tyrant, uses executive orders, or the executive orders are used by tyrants or something like that.
Or yeah, tyrants or dictators.
Dictators,
You say
yeah,
dictators.
yeah.
You looking it up? You trying to
Yep,
look it up?
yep.
Yeah, I saw the thumbnail, but I didn't.
I heard it from somebody that saw something. You know, we get so much stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So he was showing you in the roundabout, but these people, they don't know what's going on. And he was the guy that told Justice Roberts in the Senate in the confirmation when he was in the Senate in 05. He said, "You will rule on that before your tenure is over."
Now,
Can you put a microscopic tag in a person's body?
Right.
You will rule on that. Mark my words.
yeah, now they're denying it, because from here in CNN Politics, it says, fact check, no, Biden didn't say that signing lots of executive orders makes you a dictator.
Well, you know what? See, that's what they do.
Yeah,
That's what they do.
That's deplorable. What do you call it? The what do you call it?
Plausible deniability.
Plausible. It should be plausible.
Yeah.
Deplorable.
Deniability.
Yeah.
Deniability.
Deniability.
And it's dated Saturday, January, which is today, right? January 30th?
Yep. So you know why? Because people been talking. You know, there goes that QAnon again.
Yep.
There goes those conspiracy theorists.
Updated 6:48 a.m. Saturday, January 30th, 2021.
That's damage control.
That's all that is. That's all.
I got that, Papa.
Go ahead.
This is from
Just like
CNN.
they did the damage control with Kissinger saying military men are nothing but stupid animals
Yeah,
used for policies,
foreign,
foreign policies or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh no, he never said that. He never said that. He was the one that came up with the term useless eaters.
yeah,
You know?
They say
In a particular book he wrote.
okay.
So come on now.
I got damage control. It says an effort to minimize or curtail damage or loss.
Well, a perfect example recently was Johanna. Go ahead and get that thing. And you notice he ain't talking about it no more.
Right.
Because everybody attacked, all of Jakes attacked him. He said, you know what, you better don't mention it ever again. Go ahead, what you got now?
Yeah, this is from CNN Politics, Washington. CNN. President Joe Biden has signed more than 35 executive orders, actions, and memorandums in his first week and a half in the Oval Office.
Well, whether he said it or not, he is a dictator.
Right.
Yeah.
Executive orders mean what? The president makes these orders, and then when he's out of office, the next president can reverse all those orders. That's what an executive order. That's when you bypass Congress.
Right.
Right.
Which is supposed to be the actual.
Everything is supposed to be done through Congress.
And that they speak about the president's dictatorial powers.
Yeah, because the laws don't come from the executive branch. It comes from,
They just execute the laws.
yeah, it comes from the judicial.
No, it comes from the
Legislative, I'm sorry.
legislative. You got it. Of course it's out.
Yeah, legislative, yeah. You have the executive, you have the judicial, and you have the legislative.
Legislative, yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while we've go through.
Yeah, that's all right, brother. You got it right. You came back, you know.
Cut.
Slipping with the tongue. Congress is Article 1, then you got the executive Article 2, and then you got the judicial Article 3. Judicial interprets the laws.
Right.
If they challenge it, no, this law is unconstitutional, you go to the Supreme Court.
Right. So that's the dealing with the judges.
Yeah,
Judicial.
judicial. Yeah,
Then the legislative is
it's
when they make
Congress,
the law.
in the Senate, yeah.
Make the law. First it's a bill. Remember that old cartoon? I'm just a bill.
Yeah.
See, they don't
And the
even do
president,
that.
and the president can veto the bill,
Right.
Yeah, that shows you.
which is a form of executive
Order.
Yeah.
fiat, you know?
Yeah, back in the day, you had cartoons that actually enlightened you, like that cartoon, I'm Just a Bill. If you brothers Google it, YouTube, you'll see it.
Right.
They would tell you
Conjunction, what you.
conjunction, you would actually learn something.
A noun is a person, place, or thing.
Yeah.
Niggas today, they use that word noun because they remember that that cartoon.
Yeah. But now, today, that's why this generation is
Forget
just,
about it.
yeah,
Forget
this
about
generation is just,
Dumbed down.
yeah, super dumbed down.
Which is part of the agenda.
I got a quick precept.
Okay, I still have. I'm trying to get to the point if
Okay,
I
okay.
could. All right, it
Go
says.
right to the point.
Okay, it says Biden signed off on a record. Let me see, so I can. So point is this. Okay, as recently as October, now President Biden said you can't legislate by executive action unless you're a dictator. That's the quote he made.
But they're saying he never said that. Oh, I never said that. Oh, I never said that.
Plausible deniability.
You
All
have
right, so let's go back. If we got the precept, bring it out. Let's go back. I want to go back to Second Ezra 14.
Isaiah 10:1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless.
Yeah, widows, that's talking about us Israelites. They pray, why do you think they're pushing that Maxine? And the main people they want to take it is you tribes out there. So, yeah.
Yeah, one good thing about this guy with all these executive orders, now they're going to have that transgender thing. I think you're a woman, which is good for Jake men, because if they go to jail, just say, I'm a woman. I'm a woman. You bring, I'm a woman. No, yes, I feel in my spirit, I'm a woman. But I'm stuck. I was born, and they got to put you in there with the woman. You go to the Supreme Court, yes, you can, if you think you're a woman, you go to, you niggas be waiting online to go to get locked up. To get with the woman, you know? Because she's a woman too, that likes to rape other women.
Isn't that prophecy always say have become like women?
Yep. Nahum
Have become.
3, and also somewhere in Jeremiah.
Either 50 or 51.
Yeah, but it's in Nahum 3 too.
Yeah, they got this dude, it is, right? Isaiah 19 and 16. In that day, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women. And the Egypt is talking about, Isaiah 19, the Egypt is talking about is America. All right, America is spiritually known as Egypt. That's in Revelation.
Yeah.
In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts.
Yeah, because Moses going to literally shake this place up with the missiles.
That's right. Which he shaketh over it. So, man, and that's why we keep telling you, people out there, especially you brothers, when Yahushua comes, man.
Oh, everybody's it's gonna stop the
goodness.
world.
That-
Anything that's happening, it could be, you could be in the middle of the NBA championships.
Yeah.
When the Lord comes, they fuck the
Game over.
championship. It could be Tyson making another comeback. They're gonna bet the hell with Tyson.
Yeah.
You know?
Was that movie The Day the Earth Stood Still? When that robot came and just everybody just
Yeah, Clap 2.
Okay,
Clap 2,
Clap 2.
yeah, name of the robot.
that
That was 1951, the day the earth stood still. Which that's gonna happen when Yahushua, and then they made all those movies with right after the appearance of all those so-called UFOs.
Yeah, they played off of that.
Yeah,
H.G.
in Washington, no,
you're talking
Washington
about
DC,
Alright.
the UFO incident.
Yep.
You brothers out there, Google the UFO, the 1951 UFO incident, when DC was invaded
Yeah.
by chariots. And Truman was president at that time. He was so scared, he ordered jets to be scrambled to go and fight the so-called UFOs. And when they got up there, the so-called UFOs just disappeared.
Yeah, they were gone.
Showing their power.
Yeah. So they've been known about,
And when that's Jeremiah 10 and 1 on down,
I
he
get
is
it.
not dismayed at them.
They're just set.
And when we see when you see the ships, and Baraka,
Yeah,
And I said in one video recently, I said, don't be surprised if you start hearing, there's so many UFO sightings, don't be surprised if you start hearing sounds coming out there and voices and speaking in the Hebrew.
Oh, horns blowing?
Horns blowing, yeah.
That would be dope, man.
Well, that already happened, I believe, in Israel a couple of years ago, or somewhere. I believe it was Israel, when they heard this sound, they couldn't pinpoint where it was coming from, and
Right.
it sounded like a blowing trumpet.
Right.
You know?
Right. Check that out.
Well, you know, they show you some of the movies when they show the chariots, they show the horns.
Yep. Well, in that movie, with Tom Cruise, they announced that they had the horns blown.
Yeah, the trumpets blowing, yeah.
Yeah, right before they started. Yeah.
Was this, Close Encounter of the Third Kind?
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah,
communicated
yeah.
with the ships with trumpets,
The trumpets.
you know?
Well, they know. And well, we said that earlier, that these devils know. You know, I got.
And in
Jeremiah.
that movie, was it the Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Yeah.
The chosen people, that was that Devil Mountain in Wyoming, which is an actual mountain.
Right.
And it looks weird, you know?
Right.
And the spirit summoned them to that mountain, and they were all those people were all so-called Jews, because Dreyfus is a so-called Jew. The woman with the kid they was all so-called Jews, because they were saying that the ships are gonna come down and deliver the Jews, but they got those are the wrong Jews. They're gonna come and get the real Jews, you know, the Israelites.
It was that cosmic slot where they show you the Jake's going being brought up into the chariots. Was that movie? Was that cosmic slot? When they showed you
I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that movie.
I know. What's his name?
Maybe I got it.
Parliament. They always talk about the so-called UFOs.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did a song called Cosmic
Cosmic
Slot.
slot, okay.
But George Clinton, he's always talking about the so. He did that one. Swing down, sweet chariot, let me ride.
Yeah.
He's talking about the mothership. He calls it the mothership, but it's actually the fathership. You know, so.
Fathership.
I got Jeremiah 10:1. It says, Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Truman was the heathen. He got dismayed. He got shook up.
That's it.
I have a precept of them. This is the book of Haggai, chapter 2, verse 6. It says, For thus saith the Lord of hosts, yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens, and the earth, and the sea, and the dry land. He says a little while back then. That was about 2,500 years ago. So how closer are we now, you know?
And a pillow by day and a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night was a gigantic. That ship had to be maybe 50 miles in diameter or more.
Wow. Damn. I got a quick precept. Luke 21:25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity. The sea and the waves are roaring. Men's hearts failing them for fear, for looking after those things which are coming on the earth.
Yeah, the things coming on the earth are the angels, the Lord with the angels, the missiles.
Oh, yeah. By the way, these words are in red, so Yahushua actually said this. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh.
That's right.
And by the way, Yahushua was talking to his disciples, which are back here in reincarnation. So that's what we're looking for. When we see all these so-called UFOs cover the skies, like it says in Revelation 1, we know, man. We'll know what's happening.
Yep.
Now, the majority of people, they'll bug out.
So let's go back to Second Ezra. Put some more into that. See what we can get out of that.
Second Ezra 14 and 16. For yet great evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age. So much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein.
Or if I may say, the great evils, good examples is transgender.
Oh yeah.
Man, you didn't. That was unheard of back then, but it's like common thing now.
Yep.
So that's that,
homosexuality.
yeah, so that's your great evils.
Pedophilia.
In a way, Trump was kind of righteous because when he got into office, pretty much Trump really wasn't all that bad,
Right,
you know?
right.
You know, he was arrogant, but he reversed that executive order that Obama about gays in the military. He said, nah, you can't, you know? And then as soon as this guy came into office, he
Biden.
reversed that
Biden.
with an executive order, you know?
That's why they got rid of Trump, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, he was a maverick.
He was doing his own
He was
thing.
doing his own thing.
Now, they could have did a JFK on him, but I guess for some reason they decided, no, we ain't gonna do that, you know?
Go ahead.
It says, for the time is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand. For now hasteth the vision to come which thou hast seen. Then answered I before thee and said, Behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded me, and reprove the people which are present, but they
Hold on, read that again.
Behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded me.
He will go as what? As thou hast commanded me. So you got a guy that says he's a prophet,
Yeah.
but he just disappears for like 2 years.
The great Houdini.
And then he just kind of pops back up speaking Hebrew or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's not a prophet. You doing what you want to do, man.
Yeah.
Oh, like you, Howard.
You want a mission. And like you have the people in the feds, the CIA,
Right.
the Queen's Secret Service or whatever, MI6 or whatever. They're giving an order. This you got to do this. That's your mission. You can't do what the fuck you want to do, or you be labeled a spy, man, or a double agent. And the penalty of that is death.
Insubordination.
Why you think the Most High took my man out? Because he wasn't doing the will of the Most High.
Come free.
Yeah. Also, Howard Godfrey said, "Oh, the work is over."
Who taught him that?
Yeah.
Where did he get that
Yeah,
from?
that's what
Because
he
they
said.
say the
So
harvest
work
is the end of the world.
Yeah, I wish I
But he
had
never did the work. He never
He
worked.
never did the
anyway.
work anyway.
He was just a guy that hovered around,
Yeah.
talking shit.
Yep.
eating turkey legs and shit.
The dude almost had a heart attack when he found out that Mo was leaving. He called me at my number. He said, "Oh, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?" He was all nervous. "What you gonna do, brother?" I said, I'm going with the king. I'm down with the king. You know, I'm going. I said it without batting the eye, man. I said, I'm going with Mo. He's the head man. Oh, but you sure? You sure? He didn't know where to go. You know, big nigga didn't know where to go. He gonna call me. He gonna call little old me.
Oh, Lord.
Go ahead.
Behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded
What
me.
are them people gonna do? The ICGs, they see. What are they gonna do when they actually make it mandatory to get the chip? You
Take
know,
it. They're gonna take
A
it.
lot of them gonna take it.
like I said, a lot of y'all are gonna scramble. A lot of y'all are gonna bug out.
Yeah.
When the hour of temptation comes, you're gonna bug the hell out.
A lot of
All together, you're gonna bug out.
A lot of those people that follow ISUPK, they're gonna take that chip.
Yeah, well, if I may read this, Isaiah 34. Oh, I'm sorry, Isaiah 33 and 6. It says,
Keyword is stable.
yeah, Isaiah 33 and 6, it says, in wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times.
Right.
And strength and salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Yeah, like a stable that keeps all the horses in and keeps them protected, you know? So that stability, the knowledge is what keeps you stable from the hurt that's gonna come upon the world. Man.
That's right. Go ahead, let's where we at.
2 Ezra 14 and 20. Behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded me, and reprove the people which are present, but they shall be the day that shall be born afterward, who shall admonish them? Thus the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein are.
Hold on, come back. You gotta break that down. Come back.
But they that shall be born afterward, who shall admonish them?
That's talking about the next generation when he dies, and the new people who the next crop of prophets,
Yeah.
which are the same crop of prophets that were back there.
Right.
We keep coming back.
Yep.
The spirit of the prophet is subject unto the prophet. So now is Ezra here now? He could be.
Come.
We don't know who he is.
I got a precept since you said that.
But if he's here among us, you know, when I say among us in this earth,
Yeah.
he's teaching. He ain't working. He ain't operating a Amtrak train.
Yeah.
He ain't working at a gas station. You know, he ain't working 12 hours a day at Uber Eats.
No,
He's doing the work.
doing the work. I got a quick precept to back you up. Isaiah 34:16, it says, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
Yep.
No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded."
Why none shall want her mate? Why no other book can make with this book?
Because these
Because of the prophecies.
yeah.
This is the only book, and like I did in this video, previous video I did, I said, if you go to any version of the Bible, it could be the NIV, it could be the New American Standard, or whatever the New King James, the
New Living Translation.
the New Living Translation, the Jehovah Witness Green Book,
Mhm.
the Geneva,
Right.
you know, all of them say the same thing in Revelation 13. Says the same thing.
Yeah.
Says the same thing. So if you don't got the King James, you got another book. It's going to, another version of the Bible. It's going to say the same thing.
Right.
Written a little bit differently.
Right. Yep. Isaiah 34:16, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want."
No one of these shall fail. There's none of the prophecies shall fail.
Yeah.
And this is what High Priest Ariah told me years ago now.
Right.
High Priest Ariah did go into the breakdown of the mark of the beast. And you know what he said it was? He said it was for it to be in your right hand, that means you take the gun up for the white man. Or if it's in your head, that means you think the way the white man thinks. You know, you believe in Caesar Borgia. And so, but I knew that it wasn't talking about that, and I pulled him to the side, just me and him. And I said, could the mark of the beast be an actual stamp that they put in you? And you know what he said? He said, yeah. He said, but they're not gonna have time to do it. Well, wait a minute. Then that means that the Most High is a liar.
Right.
The Most High put up prophecies, but,
Yeah.
you know, he landed back on his prophecy. No. The Most High said it, and it's got to come to pass. I mean, there's many precepts on that.
His word don't go out void.
His word don't go out void. So if he said there's going to be the mark of the beast, you know.
Yeah. it's
So
gonna be.
did Ariah say that the mark of the beast is a microchip? You damn right he said it. But he said something that he went off on.
Right.
But they're not going to have enough time to do it, which clearly makes, you know.
No sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Back in Isaiah 34:16.
And when you go, right, 34:16, you got to keep reading that.
Yeah.
Because it says that some got this amount of prophecy, others got that amount of prophecy.
Yeah.
You got major prophets, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel. Then you got minor prophets, Obadiah, Joel, which Esau calls them now. Go ahead, Art. Go ahead.
Isaiah 34:16, it says, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded."
So if the Lord commanded it, did not he command that there's going to be a mark of the beast?
Yeah.
Well, how's the prophecy going to be upset?
Right.
How's the missiles going to upset the prophecies of the mark of the beast?
Right.
It's impossible.
Right.
Everything's got to happen pursuant to how the Most High said it and in his order.
Yeah. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
Hold up, what is his spirit? The Holy Spirit,
Holy Spirit.
the Comforter,
Yeah.
the Spirit that comes with the Scriptures.
Yeah, there's an actual spirit that comes with the scriptures. That's the Holy Spirit,
Which is the Comforter.
which is the Comforter. And he hath cast a lot for them, and his hand hath divided it unto them by line.
Yes, some prophets got more than others,
Right.
as far as prophecy is concerned.
They shall possess it forever.
Are we here? We're 2,000 years later,
Yeah.
2,500 years later, 3,000 years later,
Still there.
3,500 years later, we still be possessing it in the form of the book.
Yep. And that destroys that old wives' tale they used to teach at the school. When we went into captivity, Cornelius was a white man that held it.
Yeah, because the Most High didn't open up their eyes to that
Right,
particular
right,
breakdown, understanding, hermeneutics.
right.
Hermeneutics.
17th verse, and he hath cast the lot to them, and his hand hath divided it unto them by line.
And them are the prophets.
Right. They shall possess it forever. From generation to generation shall they dwell therein. And I remember what Elder Apostle Ramnab read. It was Esdras, he asked, what's going to happen to the next generation? Who's going to warn them? Like Elder Apostle said, in that generation, the Lord's going to raise up a crop of prophets to warn them.
Yeah, it's
So,
good to say that,
there you go.
the prophets have been here from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what the prophets do. One of the things they do is warn the Lord's people. As a matter of fact, I'll get it.
Yeah, it was,
Precept on that.
you know how I used to go back in the days about Adam hearing the voice of the Lord in the cool of the day. You know, that was the prophets back then in the beginning. You know, pretty much the Most High was kind of probing him and asking him through the prophets. Like, what did you do, Adam?
Here it is right here, Ezekiel 3:17. And what was Ezekiel? He was a prophet. And it came to pass at the end of seven days that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. So that, that's what the prophets did. They warned the Lord's people.
So who are these guys that be taking 3 years off, 2
Yeah.
years off, 5 years off?
They're false prophets.
Yeah, they're just Israelites. They're
Yeah.
just Israelites.
Just,
Because you got your true prophets, but you also got your false prophets too. And the Heavenly Father controls both of them. There's a scripture where it says, if a prophet speak a thing that doesn't happen, I, the Lord, have deceived
Yeah.
that prophet. So you got your true prophets and you got your false prophets.
yep.
So come on, let's read on.
All right, so back in 2nd Ezra 14 and middle of 20.
Mhm.
But they that shall be born afterward, who shall admonish them? Thus the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein are without light. For the law is burnt. Therefore no man knoweth the things that are done of thee, or the work that shall begin. But if I have found grace before thee, send the Holy Spirit into me.
Is that out of the Apocrypha? So the Comfort is mentioned in the Apocrypha. What does it mean by send the Holy Spirit to me?
Right,
It means it can be the Comforter,
right.
you know?
That understanding, so I could,
So is that Tazadakia?
oh no. Oh no.
Anybody that look, they were on a low level after the main breakdown went. They went. The One West went on a low level, man. Because if I was back there, that shit wasn't happening, man.
No,
Me and my big mouth,
no way.
you know.
No way.
And I shall write all that had been done in the world since the beginning,
Prophecies. Go ahead.
which were written in thy law, that men may find thy path, and that they which will live in the latter days may live.
The latter days are now. They live. So the prophets are here all over again.
Yeah, Apostle Paul said he lived by the grace of Yahushua that is within him. He said the rest of his time, he said he lived by Yahushua that keeps him alive. And that's the story for us. We're living basically by the spirit of Yahushua, the spirit of Yahushua, because his life is within us.
Yeah.
If not, man, I know personally, me speaking, I've been dead a long time ago. You know, because we're not of this world. We're in the world, but we're not of this. We're not of this world, brothers. We're like that square peg in the round hole. We just don't fit in. Nowhere, anywhere we go, we just don't fit in because this ain't our world.
It says, and he answered me, saying, Go thy way, gather the people together, and say unto them that they seek thee not for 40 days. But look, thou prepare, and that's the same amount of time that the Most High held Moses. But look, thou prepare thee many box trees.
Which means Esdras would have had to been Moses in his past generation.
Well, we don't know that.
Oh,
Just leave it.
Speculation.
Yeah, let's leave it. Yeah. Like I said, we don't know who the prop. We have some ideas,
Right.
you know.
Okay.
But look, thou prepare thee many box trees, and take with thee Syria, Debria, Salamiah, Icanus, and Azael, these 5 which are ready to write swiftly. That's bad.
So that meant that the Most High set these guys up.
Yep.
They didn't just pop up.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna be the guy that right.
Right.
No, the Most High chose these guys
Yep.
and put the spirit on them, and they said when they're gonna write these prophecies,
Yep.
they're gonna, cause it's gonna, the spirit's gonna be on them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep, yep. Like, you know, they had that thing called shorthand when people dictate and, you know, you.
Yeah.
So that's a skill.
That's a skill. Yeah.
It says, and come hither, and I shall light a candle of understanding in thine heart, which shall not be put out till the things be performed which thou shalt begin to write. You know? It says, and when thou hast done, some things shalt thou publish, and some things shalt thou show secretly to the wise. Tomorrow this hour shalt thou begin to write. Then went I forth as he commanded, and gathered all the people together, and said, Hear these words, O Israel. Our fathers at the beginning were strangers in Egypt, from whence they were delivered, and received the law of life, which they kept not, which ye also have transgressed after them. Then was the land, even the land of Zion, parted among you by lot. But your fathers and ye yourselves have done unrighteousness, and have not kept the ways which the highest commanded you. And for as much as he is righteous, he is a righteous judge, he took from you in time the thing that he had given you, and now are ye here, and your brethren among you. Therefore, if so be that you will subdue your own understanding, and reform your hearts, you shall be kept alive, and after death you shall obtain mercy. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared.
We're in that time now.
Yep.
They declared that this man is a devil.
Oh, that lines up with what the Apostle Paul said. That man of sin
Be
Be
revealed.
be revealed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let no man therefore come unto me now, nor seek after me these 40 days. So I took the 5 men, as he commanded me, and we went into the field, and remained there. And the next day, behold, a voice called me, saying, Ezra, open thy mouth, and drink that I give thee to drink. Then opened I my mouth, and behold, he reached me a full cup, which was full as it were with water, but the color of it was like fire. And I took it and drank. And when I had drunk of it, my heart uttered understanding. And wisdom grew in my breast, for my spirit strengthened my memory.
I mean,
That's heavy.
yeah, if I may say that, water and that fire is really
Yep.
symbolic of the word,
Yeah.
the Bible. Because,
The Holy Spirit.
yeah, the Holy Spirit.
Acts 2.
Yep.
Yep.
They began to speak in tongues.
Yeah.
Jeremiah.
Because it said the cloven tongue were fire.
Well, this is a
Chapter
fire,
21.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a quick precept, Jeremiah 5:14.
Mm.
Yeah, Jeremiah 5:14, it says, Wherefore thus saith the Lord of power of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them. And
Yeah.
then there's a scripture where Yahushua spoke about the living water when he was at the well
Yeah.
with the Samaritan woman. He spoke about the living water, and then he called himself, he said, I am the living water.
Right.
If you drink of this water, you'll never thirst again. So water and fire, that's really, that's
Yeah. Those
scripture.
are cleansing agents.
Out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. So that means that, and that goes hand in hand with Amos. The Lord has spoken, who can but prophesy? So this, a guy that claims he's a prophet, he's a man of the Lord, but he disappeared for 2 years, he's not a prophet.
Yeah.
Because if he goes on that trip with his girl to Las Vegas, he'll start prophesying in the casino.
Right.
This place is gonna be destroyed, you know?
Because
And she know what's wrong with you, nigga? Put it out again, you know?
I thought we talked about
I thought we talked about this no more than no Israel for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
While we in Las Vegas.
I got another quick precept, Isaiah 44.
Guy they just go somewhere for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years.
It's nothing.
And then they just come back like they never left.
Yeah.
What kind of bullshit is that?
Amazing.
That's
Out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
yeah. Hey, Jeremiah said he couldn't hold the words of the Lord in.
It's just like vomiting. You can't help.
Yeah,
You gotta vomit.
Yeah.
You be trying to not hit the toilet, but you might hit part of the floor. That's how you're supposed to come out.
Yeah. Yep.
Let it all hang out.
Isaiah 44.
Yeah, Richard probably said, "Yeah, get some man over there."
Yeah. Like that nigga with the pistol picking. Isaiah 44:2. Thus saith the Lord that made thee.
And when you got a vomit and you're in the bed, you run, you get up
Oh,
to the bathroom, you miss the toilet.
Cause that shit
We all-
sticks, man.
Yeah,
And it smells and it sticks.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You
And
ain't
it's
getting
gotta
that
come
shit.
out,
Yeah,
and it's involuntary.
yeah, that's why you. I was gonna say you cats doing the Uber. You get a person look like they want to vomit. You know they had the vomit.
Oh, well,
bags.
I don't pick up
Vomit
passages
is-
no more.
yeah.
I never had experienced that, but if somebody did do that,
Man.
I'm gonna get a workout.
Yeah,
I'm gonna beat
you know
him.
what that means.
I'm gonna beat his ass.
Yeah.
Gonna make him lick that
And
shit.
then Uber, they were giving vomit bags. They had something called vomit bags. 'Cause- anyway, Isaiah 44:2. Thus saith the Lord that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed and my blessing upon thine offspring. And they shall spring up as among the grass and as willows by the water courses. Another precept dealing with water.
I have a precept to follow up.
Knowledge being important.
Oh, where's that? And let's speak about the cisterns.
Jeremiah?
Systems,
Give me that.
Proverbs 5.
Give me that.
I get it. Broken systems. Jeremiah 2:13.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
Jeremiah.
we were in it earlier.
Okay, so
Jeremiah.
I can-
Yeah, let's check.
11.
You want me to start with 11? Have
Start
a
at
nation
11.
change.
Start at 11, yeah.
Jeremiah 2:11. Have a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods, but my people have changed their glory for that which doth not profit. Be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be ye very desolate, saith the Lord. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water.
Comedic, Christianity,
Yeah,
Islam,
yeah.
Democrat,
Even within the truth.
military,
Yeah.
even within the truth. Yeah.
For Christ, you come in the name of Christ, that's a broken cistern.
Yeah.
Christianity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's why,
Dirty water coming
Yeah.
out.
that's why like El Pastor always says, we say too, IUIC, you're not gonna last. That's a broken cistern. We're telling you like it is. ISUPK, another broken cistern. It ain't holding no water, you know?
Yep.
That's all it is.
Go ahead.
I got a precept.
Is there more to that? That was it?
Yeah, because it
Okay.
goes into Israel as servant.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a precept if I may.
Go ahead.
This is Matthew's the 3rd chapter in the 11th verse. This is Saint John the Baptist. It says, "I indeed baptize you with water unto repentance, but he that cometh after me is mightier than I."
What does it say in the 8th verse?
8th verse, bring forth therefore fruits meet for repentance.
No, you gotta go up a couple more verses.
Okay. It says, well, I'll start at the first verse.
See, there's certain people that you can identify that they ain't right. You know, when they roll up and you can kind of, and guy come on the counter board, and sometimes you get confused. The guy might be saying something right, but he comes off wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start the first verse and read fast. This is Matthew 3:1. It says, in those days came John the Baptist preaching in the wilderness of Judea and saying, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Why did he do that? Because the Most High set him up to do it, right?
He's a prophet.
That's
So my question is, when did he go off? When did he fell out the truth?
Yeah, like,
They'll show you that them guys don't have the truth. They fell out the truth.
yeah,
Forget about John falling out the Johanna, Yaka, how do you say it?
Yakanan,
Yakanan.
yeah.
He didn't fall out the truth. Johanna fell out the truth. Go ahead.
Okay. And saying, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Verse 3. For this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, saying,
Hold on. He's a fulfillment of what the prophet Isaiah said. How is he gonna come?
Yeah, how the hell is he gonna go off?
How the hell is he gonna go? But he went off. Wow.
Yeah, just
You gotta
like,
say it like that. Wow.
Wow.
yeah, just,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Amazing.
yeah, just like the Apostle Paul said, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine.
That's right.
That's you guys, man.
That's a nutshell.
Teachers have an itchy
Oh, I'm about to
ear.
say that. Yep.
Go ahead.
It says, for this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, saying, the voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make his paths straight.
But then he went off after he did that. After he prepared
No,
the
but
way.
when did he go off? He said the followers of Christ. Let's see, he went off. He fell out the truth.
And then the same guy said, if I say John the Baptist is this bottle of scotch.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Pass me a shot.
At that moment, you guys.
But see, a lot of you guys that come into Israel, you go into different camps. You don't know what's going on.
Children talk to and fro.
Yep.
Yeah, how you gonna sit there and listen to that?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Babbling, that was psychobabble.
Babylon moron.
Yeah, that was psychobabble.
Go ahead.
Verse 4. And the same John had his raiment of camel's hair, and a leathern girdle about his loins, and his meat was locusts and wild honey. Then went out to him Jerusalem and all Judea and all the region round about Jordan, and were baptized of him in Jordan, confessing their sins. But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come? Bring forth therefore fruits meet for repentance.
So they obviously wasn't meat good for repentance.
I got a quick precept.
When they were Israelites, how come we didn't say let's have a unity camp?
Right.
Yeah, John never had it. That's another topic. John never had a unity camp.
Right.
Sirach 19 and 29. A man may be known by his look, and one that have understanding by his countenance when thou meetest him. So I guess when John looked at their look and their countenance, he said, oh no.
He was in the spirit too.
So,
He was in the spirit, yeah.
Go ahead.
all right, Matthew 3 and 8. Bring forth therefore fruits meet for repentance, and think not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham to our father. And think not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham to our father. For I say unto you that the Most High Yahweh is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham.
I got another quick precept. Ezekiel 2 and 6. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words, though briars and thorns be with thee, and thou dost dwell among scorpions. Be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. That's the same people that that you're reading about with John the Baptist. Those same people, same individuals. Ezekiel 2 and 6. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Matthew 3 and 10. It says, and now also the axe is laid unto the root of the trees. Therefore, every tree which bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire.
That's comfy.
I was just I'm just thinking that dude.
He got hewn down, and the next thing he's gonna be cast into the fire because them spirits are gonna be raised back up to be hit by a missile.
Right.
Ain't that something?
That's Daniel's
That's in,
12th
that's in Revelation as well. They're gonna be raised back up to be hit with the missiles again.
Yeah.
It's in Matthew.
They're gonna get double dipped.
Double dip.
Some to everlasting life,
So
and
the shame and
everlasting contempt. Yeah. This is Matthew 3:11. It says, I indeed baptize you, because this is going back to what Apostle Gabar brought up. It says, I indeed baptize you with water unto repentance, but he that cometh after me is mightier than I, whose shoes I am not worthy to bear. He shall baptize you with the Holy Spirit, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, and with fire, whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor and gather his wheat unto the garner, but he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire. So his floor is, the elect, and if there's wicked amongst the elect, the Most High is gonna purge them out, and then ultimately burn their asses up.
bind them in bundles and burn them.
That was it.
Okay, what we got? What we got?
Back in 2 Ezra 14 and 41. And my mouth was open and shut no more. The highest gave understanding unto the 5 men, and they wrote the wonderful visions of the night that were told, which they knew not. And they sat 40 days, and they wrote in the day, and at night they ate bread. As for me, I spake in the day, and I held not my tongue by night. In 40 days they wrote 204 books. And it came to pass, when the 40 days were filled, that the highest spake, saying,
And we don't have those books.
Con,
We don't have those books, so there's more books.
con.
Now, a nigga could pop up and say that he got them books, and how many take and follow him?
A lot.
Whole mess of
And simple believeth every
The simple believeth every word.
It says, the first that thou hast written, publish openly, that the worthy and unworthy may read it. But keep the 70 last that thou.
the worthy and unworthy.
Yep.
So the worthy is gonna understand it. The unworthy, they'll be lost. They won't understand it.
The wicked shall not
And
understand.
that's why Sonnet is trying to get it.
Yeah. He's
He
unworthy.
can clearly see that the market abuse is chip. But he'll go to Captain Cesare, who the captain? I ain't talking about that. GMS is going off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why he wanted to have an interview with me.
Yeah.
Because he knows that we teach that. So he want to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. As a Lord Abraham said, you have Moses and the prophets. Well, my saying that you have the video.
Yeah.
Go check out the video.
Check out the video.
Check out the video.
That's it.
Go ahead.
It says, but keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge. And
The
I did so.
stream of knowledge. The stream of knowledge. A stream doesn't, when a stream stops, you see a stream, a river, and it stops, don't touch that stagnant water.
No.
And when we make the videos, it's streamed.
The live stream.
The live stream is being streamed right now.
Yeah.
So this is water.
Yeah.
That's a cistern right there. That
Yep.
phone that you got is a cistern.
Yeah.
Because something streams through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's
Water
all
pours out.
going.
It's ongoing. It's ongoing.
Living water.
Even Bruce Lee said that.
Yep.
You'll be like water, my friend.
Yeah. It says, and I did so. And that's it.
I have a precept, if I may.
I got okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Daughter. This is Daniel's, the 12th chapter, and the 9th verse. And it says, and he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end.
Which we're in the time of the end. Which we're in the time of the end.
Certain of those words are still sealed, like you guys talking about the mark of the beast is sleeping, or a white woman, or any crazy doctrine. That means that those words are sealed to you.
Right.
You know, those words are sealed to you. You don't understand it.
Hey, the scripture say, harden not your hearts as in a provocation.
Yeah, and the name, we don't have the name of the Heavenly Father, nor His Son. Those words are sealed to you. You go into prophecy. It says in the land of Egypt, we're gonna be 5 cities, roughly paraphrasing it, speaking what, the language of Canaan.
Right.
which is Hebrew.
which is Hebrew. So one of the things we're going to speak is the name of the Father and the Son, which can only be uttered in Hebrew, the true names. So you're going to listen to a guy tell you we don't have the name, we don't get those in the kingdom. He's calling the Heavenly Father a liar. Because the prophecy says in that land of Egypt, which is America, 5 cities are going to be speaking the language of Canaan, which is Hebrew. And when we came into the school, Hebrew was mandatory. You had to learn Hebrew at school at One
And
West.
that's a great thing, because that's why we're able to use a blue letter.
Oh, yeah.
We'll look at a certain word and click on it.
Oh, yeah.
The Hebrew word is this, or the Greek word is that.
Yep. Brothers, that was mandatory. You had to, first of all, you had the soldiers test, all right? You had the officer of 50, officer of 100. Each test had, the soldiers test had the Hebrew. I think the officer of 50 had the Hebrew. The officer of 100 was a multi-choice answer. But the point I'm making is the first test, you had to know the Hebrew, because part of the test had Hebrew on it. That's how we came up. So we got introduced to the Hebrew, you know? You got other Israelite groups, they, have a lazy attitude towards the Hebrew.
You know, a lot of GMS. Remember we used to put up Hebrew videos?
Yeah.
You get no views.
How you
You
gonna
put the
be?
new moon video up, you get no views.
Yeah.
Very little views on it.
Yeah,
They mostly watch the controversial stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what Jake likes, man. And when a lot of these camps, these young bucks coming up, they'll put the title
Yeah.
Muslim gets
Oh, yeah.
bludgeoned to death,
Yeah.
shot, fired, and all that. And then you
Clickbait.
jump on it. It's clickbait, man.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is calling to yourself people that are not worthy. It's true.
That's right. That's a good point. Yeah.
And the word doesn't need gimmicks.
And the world to come is for few. This world is for many. The world to come is for few.
Yeah.
The Most High ain't saving the masses of our people.
Yeah. That's right. Well, wait a minute, I'm right there. Yeah. That's heavy you said that, Apostle, because Romans 11:7. What then Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it,
And the rest were blind.
and the rest were blinded. We, Greatmillstone, we're the only real Israelite group that keeps speaking about the elect, the elect, the elect, the elect, the elect. That's like a part of the broken record, like the chip. Another broken record of ours is the elect. That's
And the missiles.
Yeah, but
It's like they're afraid of because they know they're gonna get burnt up.
yeah, these other Israelite groups are telling you, anybody could raise up the nation. No, the Lord is dealing with the
That's not scriptural. The Lord's not raising up the whole nation. And our job is not to, we are to go among all Israel.
Right.
Right.
But the Most High is going to pinpoint who the elect is in those masses, man.
Yep.
This gospel shall be preached throughout the whole world, and then shall the end come. Through what? Through the web. All right, God did. You really got the truth, because you got it on. No. Come on now. Stop it.
Yeah,
Anyway, we got any more precepts to get ready to?
Yeah, because I had since you said that about the elect, this is Revelation chapter 7, verse beginning at 1. And it says, "And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea."
Yeah, if I may say, the wind is talking about the nuclear destruction. A precept that lines up with that is Jeremiah 50 and also 51, where the Lord speaks about a destroying wind.
Yeah.
If you watch the movie Terminator 2, you see the scene with Sarah Connor, the chick who played Sarah Connor. Yeah. And you see her on the fence and you see the wall of fire. That's that destroying wind. Okay?
So Jeremiah 50 and Jeremiah 51 are 2 of my favorite chapters, man.
Oh, yeah.
And that's talking about the new Babylon, America.
Yep.
That's what the Lord, there's another precept. The Lord said he will sweep this place with the besom of destruction.
Right. Yep.
And you see that in the movie. You see the wall of fire sweeping across the land. That's how this place is going to be taken out. And it's going to hit every inch and every corner of this place. Right across.
Go ahead.
It says, and after these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind shall not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any
And
tree.
those four angels are there right now.
Yeah.
The Great River Euphrates in Revelation 16 and also in Revelation 9, the 9th chapter. So that pilot cave is going to come out of the Great Levant, out of the Fertile Crescent, the Middle East.
Yeah, which makes sense because that's where the Most High started everything.
Yeah.
So that's where it shall end and then begin again.
Full circle.
Full circle. Yep, the Most High does things like that. Verse 2, it says, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their flesh.
With the 144.
Right? Yeah.
And all this, you got Sakari talking about Dan. Dan is these people. We don't know. You know what? It could be that Dan is mingled among them, but they're not being, they're not being identified as Dan. So when the Lord didn't mention Dan, Dan is not. Dan could be. You can have a guy that's a Danite, but you can't say, well, he's a Danite.
Right.
Right.
It's like we're all Dan.
Yeah, well, Dan is mingled among us, man.
Right.
Dan means judge.
So we'll find out what Dan is all about in the kingdom.
Yeah.
And the Most High is not going to set up the tribe of Dan in the kingdom. The tribe of Dan will have to be mingled among the other tribes. But we can't say anything more than that.
Yeah.
And one brother asked me a question. I forget what he asked me. And how did I answer it? I forget his question, but I gave him a simple answer. He said, "What is it?" Oh, he said the sun, the sundial that the day went back. I think it was 10 minutes. He said, "What is that all about?" And I think I put down it's what it says it is. What else can I say? He came back and said the water. What am I going to say? Do a whole class? And see, when you go into the molecular, that's what these people want, man. Some things are just simple. It's you got to get with the Most High.
Yeah.
Right.
Break out the
Go get a rocket ship, go to Virgin Atlantic and go up into space and see if you can meet one of the angels.
They bring a camera,
Bring that, yeah.
take notes.
Take notes, yeah.
Besides that, how does that help you with salvation?
Exactly. That's
Well,
the
you know how, Jake, he didn't mean wrong, but, Jake, he wants to get deeper. Some things, there's no, it's just that.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can say.
Yeah, that's why the Apostle Paul said things concerning salvation. Because you had those characters back then too. When it gets super deep. But the main thing you brothers should ask, especially you new to the faith, is things pertaining to salvation.
Yeah.
How can I be delivered from coming destruction?
Saint Paul said, it's like Saint Paul said, all things are lawful, but all things are not expedient.
You want to know the weight of a flame and see the
Which
image.
Esau knows the way to fulfill.
See the
They
image
can
of the
see
voice.
they can see the image of a voice.
Right.
Esau can do all those things.
Yep.
That's funny because we started the lesson saying that you were saying that, now we ended it
Full
circle.
Full circle. That's how the Lord do. Full circle. I got a little more in Daniel's 12, Apostle.
Go ahead.
This is Daniel's 12 and 10. It says, many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. But the wise shall understand.
Which are the elect of Israel.
It says, and from the time that, like, we understand the chip, but the wicked of Israel don't. They can't,
And the wicked, it goes to the Israelites. Too.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Here is the mind that has wisdom. It says, but the wise shall understand, and from the time that the daily sacrifice, and from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days.
And you know what that's talking about? That's talking about 70 AD time period. And that number of days is talking about the time when not Vespasian, but Titus took Israel down. It was about 3 years.
3.5, something, three.
Yeah, it was 3.5 years. Yeah.
So then the next part of it is when, cause after that, it was over. You know, there was no more persecution against Israel anymore.
Yeah, they were scattered.
Yep.
They were scattered. Yeah.
This is verse 12. It says, "Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,300 and Slack. Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,305 and 30 days."
Yeah, because those days were cut short. Because they fled. They got out of there. A lot of them were killed off, and others fled because they heard what Yahushua said. He told them that when the abomination that maketh desolate is talking about Titus, Vespasian,
Flee to the mountains.
flee into the mountains.
Verse 13, it says, "But go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days."
So most likely Daniel's here, among us.
Come, the Lord says something.
What does that mean, vocab?
Oh, shit. He don't know.
He don't know.
He don't know. He don't know the king.
Abiel, he rolled up on Barak. Barak could have been Daniel,
Yeah.
you know?
Could be one of those.
Yeah, well, Yahushua said, since Pastor said that, Yahushua said, and I think you did a video on that, Apostle. Yahushua said, it's better a millstone, if you offend these little ones, better a millstone you put around your neck.
Correct.
You be, you read that video you did, you be drowned in the deepest part of the sea, something like that, rough comparison.
Because you don't know, you can look at a guy and see that he's a demon,
Yep.
and then you can look at a guy and,
Yeah,
I don't know, brother, the spirit's working with him.
yeah.
You can see through the spirit. Anyway, with that, we're gonna say shalom,
We want to the left.
and we hope y'all learn the thing or two.
Come.
God.
Slack about you might
As Spice would say.